This is New Bay, one of the recent additions to the tournament scene. So what are we expecting to see here? Well, it depends. Now, again, my microphone is really screwing up, so I've had to stop the flyover. Every time I start the stream, for some reason, YouTube and OBS aren't connecting and I'm having microphone issues. Hopefully now you can hear me. What I was saying was, there is more than one stream today. There's myself and Every Good Name and Taken. We are both following Serenity and APA. And Wilds and Halper and Amunet, they are doing BPS against Loka. So, that's what we're doing. I have got 10 battle passes to give away. More about that as the stream progresses. Let's do those flyovers now, and thankfully, hopefully, you can now hear me. This is New Bay, one of the recent additions to the tournament scene. So what are we expecting to see here? Well, it depends. Some clans like to send their tanks all the way up to these ridges, these ramps, sorry. Get onto these ramps, well, the thing is, anything coming up the ramp you can smack, anything crossing over there you can smack, and you can get some really dominant positions around here. At the same time, they like to send their super heavies, like the Mouse or an E100, down to these type positions. That way, if anything comes around to try and get up the ramps from the flank, they've got it covered. Alternatively, they can push through this area and put some pressure onto the park. It's not uncommon to try and get a fast cap here on the B cap, and in the alternative on the C cap. It all depends. I mean, some clans, even from the other spawn, can go through. They can fast cap their respective caps, C and B, and then continue pushing through onto the other cap. If there are tanks on the ridge, on the ramps, however, it becomes a danger here with the crossfire. That's why they like to go onto those ridges. But you will get the cap advantage, but the cap advantage doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the game. The brawl areas, well, it depends. Sometimes you get a brawl around here, sometimes you get a brawl around this cross section here with the heavies, and sometimes you get a brawl around the park and the B and C caps. It all depends on what cap they're going to utilise. New Bay has always been a tricky map, but it's always been an interesting one insofar as strats and meta selection. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a great game, as always. Yeah, well, that's New Bay. I keep forgetting to unmute that mic. It's really annoying because it's on a different setting. That's the problem. Anyway, let's have a look at Mayan. Where is Mayan? There it is. This is Mayan Ruins, and what are we going to see here? Well, we don't really know. We can only give you an overview. Teams generally like to send Vickers or a medium out towards this C cap, trying to put pressure on. Works the same from both sides. It's very rare to see a full-on C strat with the whole team, but it's not uncommon. Recently, I've been seeing teams sending E5s and Kranwagons to around this area, whilst having an IS-4 drop into the B cap and try and put multiple pressure on there. It is not uncommon to see super heavies like a Mouse and E100, and if so, from this spawn, they like to send them around this area, possibly even pushing as hard up as this, depending on how aggressive they want to be. Some teams like to take AMX-50Bs from that spawn, and if so, they stick them into the A cap with the intention of bringing them around and joining up with those super heavies to put pressure on. Reason being, well, the other side, normally from the other spawn, will have a super heavy of some description, and they will stick them around here also. That way they get to put pressure on both the B cap if they do send an IS-4 in, and anything coming down that lane. Again, they can also send AMXs up into the A cap, but it is risky. There's a lot more ground to cover, and it's a lot more open than on the other side. Again, you can send an IS-4, drop into that B cap and try and get those early caps, but it is risky because you can be reset from that bush there, which is not uncommon. Once they have done it, they normally rotate to about that position there. Nine times out of 10, the brawl area around this map is between the A cap and the B cap, but you just never know what strat they're going to do. Either way, it's a great little map. It lends itself for some good heavy tank play, but it also has some great opportunities for those mobile teams with their Vickers, T22s and the such. Either way, we're set to have a great game here. So, that's Mayan. Last one is Rockfield, one of the older maps. Always interesting. This is Rockfield, very aptly named because it's basically a field of rocks. So what are we expecting to see here? Well, it's not uncommon to see them taking a Vickers or some form of medium down into this dippy area here onto this ramp. That way they can get some spots as they as the other side try to move into their positions. Pretty much the same from the other side. It's almost a mirror image. So we can expect something along those lines. Some clans do like to take the C strat, and if they do, they will push their lights and mediums into C first and then position their heavies around so they can get some resets on the B. That is not common, however. What you're more likely to see is clans sticking an IS-4 or something similar down behind this rock. That way anything coming towards B, they can see it and they can smack it. They can even reset B or even jump into B. And again, it's pretty much the same from the other side. Clans do like to send tanks up to the A cap. Why? Because they can use the undulating terrain, the bumps and the dips to use as cover moving up. Now if they see anything on the way up, it's not uncommon for them to stick a heavy here in this position whilst pushing an IS-4 or something similar into this corner. That way mainly you're only going to get reset with HE. Pretty much the same from the other side. They've got a similar little position to hide behind whilst your other tank pushes in into this corner here. 9 times out of 10 the brawl area on Rockfield is between the A and the B cap, although it's not uncommon if both teams go for a C strat to see it there. However, that's unlikely, but it can happen. We won't know what strats they're going to utilize. We can only give you an overview. No doubt Rockfield will give us an exciting and brawly type of game. It normally does, so I'm looking forward to it. So we've seen all the maps, which is lovely. Let's have a look at the team rosters. Wow, this is Serenity. We have Pipu Devil as the captain, Alpha, Pipu Jail, Spitfires, Brocky, Flytix, Pipu Plat, Herr Kimmich, Days, and Tritoniet. Let's have a look at APA. APA, we have Jennifer as the captain, Ernzned, Erneds, Ossiol, Vanu, another Ossiol, Ambassador, Marsink, Maceo, The Witcher, and Sinkia. So there we go, and it's always difficult me trying to pronounce. I'm going to jump in the room, ready up, and jump back out again. It's always difficult when it comes to trying to pronounce names when they're obviously done in the local language, in this case Polish, because APA are a Polish clan. Hence the name, APA, Advanced Polish Armour. There you go. So what do we expect tonight? Well, it's a difficult one. I mean, I like Serenity. I think Serenity have shown a lot of promise. They've been very consistent throughout the PYS. I'm not going to lie. However, they are a relatively... well, they're a new clan, but they're not a new bunch of players in the clan, if you know what I mean. I mean, they've been playing together, you know, quite a while, realistically. It's not like they've suddenly sort of thrown a clan together and come out of nowhere. They've been together in other clans, and they've got plenty of experience, all that sort of jazz. So, you know, it's not like everything's new, because everything isn't new, simple as. So that's what that's Serenity, and I really think they've been very consistent. APA, wow, they've always been consistently in the top 8. Let's say I wouldn't go as far to say they've been in the top 4, but they've definitely been in the top 8. That is absolutely true and correct. They have their ups and downs. On some days they're very good, on other days they're pretty strange, and they're not as great. But generally speaking, they are a very, very, very good clan. So they're going to give a hard time to Serenity. Well, let's have a look. Let's jump in now, shall we, to see what the meta selection is going to be. I'm just checking other things on YouTube, making sure everything is 100% correct, because everything hurts. Everything hurts. Man, we should be okay now. Right then. So, we will have here on New Bay, APA on the North Spawn, Serenity on the South Spawn. They're still muddling around with their meta. They'll get ready to pretty soon. They've got over 2 minutes, so it's not a big deal. Now, as for this giveaway on battle passes, normally I'm not going to do it in this game, so forget this game. But in the next game, I want people to predict the amount of damage that APA will dish out. Not this game, the next game, the game after this game. Okay, still got a little bit of the try this, see if this works. Is that better? Should be. Hopefully now I'm in sync again. The delay really does muck it all up. No, I'm out of sync again. Oh, I want to work it out. These milliseconds is a nightmare, absolute nightmare. Hello? I think that should be in sync around now. Well, then again, maybe not. It's so difficult to actually sort it all out where the microphone is in sync with your voice because of the delay. The delay really sort of mucks it all up. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. It's not going to be perfect, but it's best it can be. So anyway, not this game. Next game, I want you to predict the damage dished out by APA. Anyway, looking at APA, well, we've got Yennefer in an IS4, Sincere in an IS4, Maceo in an E5, Marsink in a mouse, Oslo in a mouse, The Witcher in a Kranwagen, and Ambassador in a Kranwagen. Moving over to Serenity, well, so far we have Pipu Devil in a Kranwagen, Pipu Jail in a Kranwagen, Pipu Platt in a Kranwagen, Spitfires in a mouse, Rocky in an E100, Alpha in an E5, and Days in an E5. So Super Heavies are making a showing. That's made it worse. Look at that. It's awful. I'm going to drop it back down again. Hopefully that's a bit better. If it's not, well, we'll just have to deal with it, won't we? If it's out of sync, it's out of sync. Simple fact of life. Not much I can do about it, guys, this late day. I mean, it was working fine the other day, but it's a bit weird now. Right then, here we go. New Bay. So, and we're going to see lots of things going to the ramps. It's normally what we see. Everybody go to the ramps. We will soon find out. Hit points, wow, not much in it. APA just topping it. That's only about almost 500, but not quite. That's really not much at this level of the game, to be fair. So, all ready for the off. Let's get up high into the back and see where they're all going to be going. So, APA already got their Kranwagens and their... oh no, the Kranwagens are peeling off. Maybe just the heavies are going up to the ramps. Kranwagens are peeling off and going down the other way. Mouses I'm expecting to go around this area. Around here. My mouse is oversensitive yet again. Should be around this area, the mouses, unless they do something strange. No, they've peeled off. Serenity, on the other hand, going nowhere near the ramps. They are looking to our Pipu Jail and Brocky here, covering that area for the mouses. They will then drop into the C cap. You can see there that already Maceo has dropped down and taken that A cap. So the C cap and the advantage on the caps will go to Serenity. Brocky here, well, he knows that the mouses are going to be around there somewhere. He just doesn't want to push anytime soon. Spitfires has been spotted, so is Oslo, so as Brocky, and Brocky takes the first, smacking along with Oslo. Oslo falling out worse there. As you can see, Marsink is pulling back into this alley area just in case anything comes through there, because you never know. What are the rest of APA doing? Well, at the moment they're just holding the ramps, hoping that Serenity are going to cross on this point here, because if they do, then they can really hurt them. But Serenity are long in the tooth, and they're not going to do that just yet. As much as it's tempting to go and get the B cap, the Kranwagens of Pipu Devil and Pipu Platt are not that daft to go and go. Oh, I don't know. Pipu Devil is toying with the idea. He's not there yet. He's just going to go to the edge. But you can see that the Witcher, I mean, they're just waiting. Ambassador and Witcher are just waiting for something. And that's exactly why they're there. They're just waiting for something to come around that corner and try and make a beeline for the B cap, which is why Pipu Platt and Pipu Devil have not gone there yet. Days in Alpha, well, they're just covering the corner in case anything comes, get down the ramps to try and put pressure on that C-cap. Brocky, Spitfires and People Jail are just in the middle again. So Yennefer is looking to get into the B. That's a wise move, seeing as they've got it covered with the Crown Dragons on the crossfire. Yennefer is just going to side scrape off the building here. Not much anybody can do about that from Serenity's side. So APA will now start getting the cap point advantage. They don't have it at the moment, but they will in a very short time. People Jail going up to give some pressure on to Ambassador and the Witcher, although Ambassador seems to be the target because he was the one that was in the open. Daze is also moving up, trying to put some fire into Witcher as well, which is all very nice and well. But as they rotate their tanks out of the areas they were just defending, it gives a clue to APA where they might be weak. So you may see the mouses pushing. In fact, I can see them rolling slowly towards where Spitfires was because Brocky and the E100 is up here. So People Jail can go back down the ramps. Now we've got the E5 of Maceo and the IS4 of Sincere coming. You can see there that the Crown Dragons are pushing down on Yennefer in the B cap. They're both loaded, so they should be able to clip Yennefer almost down to next to nothing. He is now a two-shot. He's a one-shot if they're lucky. People Platt will look to put one right in the bottom plate with a... No, there you go, he was a two-shot. Moving back over, we've now got the mouses all toying with each other. It's all going sort of belly up at this end. Marsink has moved in. People Jail has gone down. Yennefer has gone down as well. So 2 down. Daze now has gone down as well. The Witcher, they need to get the Witcher out of it. Brocky should be able to finish him off with a well-timed shot. And he does. But at the moment, 3 down to Serenity. 2 down to APA. However, People Devil or People Platt should be able... Yes, they do. Oslo's gone down. So, even Stevens on the guns on the battlefield, but not even Stevens with regard to the hit points. APA have got the distinct advantage hit point wise, but they do not have the advantage with regard to base points. However, Alpha, oh, he drops down. Is that going to cause any problems? Oh, no. Maceo manages to miss him, but he will put a shot into his rear or side. Down goes Alpha, and at the same time, down goes Brocky. Now it's 2 against too many. Despite Sincere being a one-shot, only Pipu Platt is looking very healthy. Pipu Devil is not, and it's the reason why Marsink is pushing on to Pipu Devil, as you can see there. Oh, Pipu Devil drops down and causes a bit of damage to himself. Now Pipu Platt has got it all to do here against Ambassador and Maceo, sorry. Maceo is in the E5, will be able to put shots in. Pipu Devil will go down there. Marsink will get him in that mouse eventually. Pipu Platt, well, he's not going to be able to hold on. Down he goes, leaving Pipu Devil as the last man standing. Marsink chasing him round here in the mouse. Not the best of tanks to chase another tank. Oh, that's a bounce. Pipu Devil didn't want that, but it's all over, and APA take the first victory. 1-0 here on Nube. So, now remember, start predicting on the damage, guys. In that game, they did 19,269 compared to Serenity's 15,966. So that's what we're looking at, guys. So
I mean, like, so many positive ways. Maybe we can't lose.
I'm going to change those spawn points here. So this time APA on the south spawn, Serenity on the north spawn. APA have already readied up. We have Yennefer in an E100, Erneds in a Crownwagon, Sincere in an IS4, Maceo in an IS4, Oslo in a Mouse, The Witcher in an IS4, Ambassador in an IS4. Moving over to Serenity, we have Pipu Devil in a Mouse, Pipu Jail in a Crownwagon, Pipu Platt in the IS4, Spitfires in a Mouse, Brocky in an E100, Daze in a Crownwagon, and Alpha in an IS4. So we've got about 30 seconds to go. Before we're due to kick off. Serenity, well, you could put that one down to maybe not warmed up yet or anything like that, but APA are looking very, very tasty at the moment. They are looking very, very hot, to be fair. Serenity just looked a little bit out of sorts, not the usual Serenity, but they do this before. They sort of go a bit out of sorts, then come back strong. Very strong, in fact. So, hit points, well, again, APA are just no, they're not topping it this time. It's actually going to Serenity. Only just very marginal, very tiny on this spawn. So, let's see what is going to happen this time. So, let's get up high, and APA are en masse heading into the city area. Maybe not all to the sea cap, but majority. We shall get them peeling off down that road. So that's what they're doing. Indeed they are. Serenity on the other hand, well, Peepoo Devil is heading towards the B cap along with Spitfires, and the rest of the team are heading up to the ramps. Apart from Brocky, who will just tail off and also go down that middle road area. I'm expecting one of the tanks to now drop down from the ramps and go and get that A cap. Although I can't see who it's going to be. Oh, there we go. It's Peepoo Jail. Peepoo Jail will get the A cap. So this is pretty much like a reverse of what we've just seen. You can see there that shots are coming across from, I believe that was the Witcher, trying to put shots in, blind shooting. Macy is going to come around the corner right into Spitfire's line of fire, but Spitfire's bounces, unfortunately. So Peepoo Devil, Brocky now know that Maceo is there. Maceo can't do much about it. Are the others going to cross? Well, again, that's why Serenity are over there. And it's saying ping. Well, yeah, the ping isn't great, I must admit. Mine's at 153. So you can see they're all on the ramps just waiting for something to cross. I wish people would stop sending me Discord notifications. It's really annoying. And it's coming on my iPad, not my computer. And that's why you're hearing the noise. Anyway, APA are rotating back towards their spawn here. They're not looking to go to the B cap. They may send Macy, well, he's there on his own at the moment. They are anticipating something coming down here. So as you can see, they're in a line abreast, right on this corner, thinking that something's going to come round here. But they're not going to. Serenity are over the other side. Alpha is going to join up with Spitfires. We're just going to leave APA to keep their three-line whip, as we say, over on that side. And trying to see if Serenity are looking to push onto Maceo. One of the problems that you have when you roll out with just heavy tanks is that you've got nothing spotting, and none of these heavies have got superb spotting range, to be fair. And this is why they're all sort of tentatively trying to find out where everybody is. They kind of know where they all are, but they don't know fully. APA are now going all the way towards the ramps. In fact, they're going up on the ramps. Peepoo Platt is on the ramp. He is going to get swamped very quickly. Oh, package lost. That's lovely. Shots are going across into the mouse, but we'll look at the mouse of Oslo, and Maceo is also being pummeled here. Maceo goes down. Oslo may go down, but Yennefer's coming in. They're going to lose Peepoo Platt. That's a given, unfortunately, for Peepoo Platt. It's whether they get rid of Oslo here. He is now realistically a one-shot. Down he goes. Peepoo Platt is hanging in there. He's not down. Not yet anyway. And he's been holding them off. Doing some fantastic work. Now he finally goes down, but they've lost 2 tanks to only 1. Brocky is looking worse for wear in the E100. In comes Peepoo Jail to try and put some pressure onto Yennefer, but he's not fully loaded. Brocky's coming around to try and also put a big roll in Yennefer. Yes, now Alpha may be able to put a shot in, allowing Peepoo Jail to finish Yennefer off. Oh, Yennefer needs to load. And there he goes. Brocky also lost 2 E100s out of the game, Yennefer and Brocky. So Sinkir and NZ are trying to put Peepoo Devil onto the cosh here. Witcher comes rushing in there in the IS-4 as much as you can rush an IS-4. Peepoo Devil is going to go down. Witcher will take him. So they are going to lose a tank here. There we go. People Devil is down. So it's all going down under the bridge, as they say. And it's a nightmare. Ambassador is a one-shot, and Daze is going to go up there and try and take him out. Sinkir is being harassed by Spitfires here, who's stopping Sinkir from moving. That's a great manoeuvre. He left his gun open, but he's pinned him against the wall. Poor old Sinkir can't really do much. I mean, that's well done, Spitfires. People Jail will probably go down here. It's 2 against too many, so this one is going to go to APA. They've got the points, they've got the guns on the battlefield, they've got the hit points. Spitfire's just not letting Sinkir move at all. It's fantastic to watch. Oh dear, go over and up. Alpha are also stopping it, and they get it on the point. Well played, Serenity. And as you can see, it's poof, 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 poof. Yeah, you should have stopped as soon as the mod said it. Right then, so what did they do? Wow, they did 12,481. So that is the magic number, 12,481. So there you have it. Right then, we're now going to move into Mayan ruins. Going to give you a little relax with this one. I'm not going to do anything on this one. So, on Mayan ruins, we will have APA on the south spawn, Serenity on the north spawn. At the moment, it's level pegging. Serenity will be looking to try and pull ahead here, but APA will be looking for the same thing also. Both teams have readied up. We have Yennefer in an E100, Sinkir in an E5, Maceo in a T22, Marsink in a Crown Wagon, Oslo in a Mouse, the Witcher in a Crown Wagon, and Ambassador in a Crown Wagon. Moving over to Serenity, we have Pipu Devil in an MX-50B. Excuse me. Pipu Jail in a Crown Wagon, Pipu Platt in an E5, Spitfires in an E5, Brocky in a Crown Wagon, Daze doubling up with Pipu Devil in the 50B, and Alpha in an E5. So, there we have it. So looking at the hit points, well, again, pretty not much in it really. I mean, okay, there's 400, but that's nothing, absolutely nothing at all. So let's get up high into the back. What are APA going to be doing this time? Well, Yennefer is not going in the direction that I thought he would be going, to be honest with you. I thought he was going to go down the heavy route, but he's not. He's going to join up with Maceo here. Spitfire's in the E5, also coming towards the C-cap, supported by the 50Bs. In fact, there's a lot of tanks coming to this C-cap. Maceo goes low, Spitfires goes high. 50Bs in the E5s of Serenity just holding back there. The Crown Wagons are coming in to overlook the B-cap area. You can see them there, just coming into their hold down positions. Mars Sink and the Witcher also doing the same thing, with Ambassador just behind them. And Oslo in the Mouse just behind them even further. Now we've got APA coming around to try and put a little bit of pressure. Maybe, no, they're not interested at the moment. They're just holding back. Holding back. That's all they're doing. C-cap is being taken by Serenity. Now Yennefer has been spotted by Pipu Devil and Daze. Shots going in, but that doesn't work. Oh no, was that a shot in? Yes, it was. It didn't work. And no, it wasn't a shot in. It was a shot out. Yennefer fired, but it didn't hit or connect with anything. Alpha looks a little bit stuck there. A little bit stuck on the rock. I know how he feels. He can't go forward, he can't go backwards. Because, now no he can, because they fired. So Alpha there, he was in a bit of a tiz-was a little bit. Oslo in the Mouse, wow, he's a Mouse, so he's pushing right forward. Pipu jailing Brocky, well, Brocky's not interested in the Mouse, he's more interested in the Ambassador and or Marsink. Here comes Peepoo Devil. Well, shots coming in by the Witcher. Now we've got Sink here trying to come round the back. Trying to put those shots into Peepoo Devil and Daze. This is good stuff by APA. Yennefer now moving up to the C cap. Marsink is looking... Oh, Marsink is looking dangerous, but that's a great shot into Alpha, who goes down. Yennefer now giving Spitfires a hard time. The 50Bs are on their long reload. They are vulnerable. This is what happens. Daze is unbelievably vulnerable here. He is on a reload. No, he's gone before he can reload. Spitfires comes in to try and relieve the pressure, but 2 tanks down. Marsink has gone down. So 2 tanks still, but Spitfires is going to go. Down goes Spitfires. Peepoo Platt now, well, he's in a world of pain. He's just surrounded, but he manages to take down Sinkir before he himself will go down. He is not going to last against 3 tanks. Moving up here, well, they finally did get rid of the Mouse of Oslo, but it took them a lot of damage to do so, and they lost too many tanks. It's 3 against 4. Hit points are in favour of APA. Everything is in favour of APA at this stage. They have a very, very healthy Kranwagen in the form of Ambassador. They have a very healthy T22 in the form of Maceo. Not so healthy Yennefer, but a very healthy Witcher. And you can see Peepoo Devil here in the AMX-50B. Well, there's not much he can do other than try and get those shots in. He can't move forward, and that one's a bounce. Couldn't have done without that. Brocky and Peepoo Devil, well, they're not too unhealthy, to be fair. But they need to take tanks out, and Yennefer is the one that they're looking for. Maybe Brocky can finish off Yennefer here. Yes, but it came at an expense. They lost Peepoo Jail, and now they're going to lose Brocky, leaving Peepoo Devil as the last man standing. Brocky may be able to finish. No, can he finish Witcher? Or is Ambassador? Oh, no, he doesn't. He leaves him on a low roll. But Maceo is going to come around the back of Peepoo Devil. It's all over. APA have got this one. It's going to go to 2-0 APA. And there is Peepoo Devil. Last man standing. And he puts 1 shot in and then goes down. So, ooh. So, damage being dished out, 18,400 by APA, 15,576 by Serenity. So, 2-1 now to APA, switching those spawn points here on Mayan Ruins. And don't forget, this is where you should have been predicting the damage for this game. Right then, so we have... Nobody rated up yet. Not yet, level 2. Not yet. Well, we're getting closer to them readying up, so... And we have Yennefer in an E100, Sinkir in an E5, Maceo in a T22, Marsink in a Mouse, Oslo in a Mouse, The Witcher in an E5, and Ambassador in an E5. Moving over to Serenity, we have Peepoo Devil in an AMX-50B, Kimmich now coming in a Kranwagen, Peepoo Jail in a Kranwagen, Peepoo Platt in an E5, Spitfires in an E5, Brocky in a Kran, and Daze in an E5. Osio is probably looking to change out the Mouse. Yes, there we go. He's going into... Yeah, oh no, he going back into the Mouse. Yeah. No, don't stop now. So, looking at those hit points, we have Serenity now taking the lead by an extra 200 hit points, near as damn it. What are APA going to do? Well, this time we've got the Mouse and the E100 ending towards the middle. Marsink is with them. And we've got the E5s moving towards the C cap. Maceo is already dropping down like he did in the last game. Well, I don't think he did in the last game. Was it him or was it Marsink? I think it was him actually. And Serenity doing the same thing. Here we come now. Pipu Devil's just holding back. E5s are coming in. Rocky, all the crown wagons are going upwards though. They're going to try and put a little bit of pressure up here. Kimmich, Pipu Jail and Brocky looking to put a little bit of pressure on them at the top. I mean, this is match point, by the way, to APA. For those of you who didn't realise, because it is best of 5. So, Serenity, realistically, don't want to throw it away just yet. C-Cap is being taken. Ambassador has jumped in there. Oh, Blocky get a bit of a smack there. Not a big roll, though. It came from Marsink in the Kranwagen. Sinkir is trying to move around a little bit. He's going to be joined up by Ambassador. They do have the good advantage over this side, do APA, meaning that Serenity have the good advantage on the other side. Can these E5s hold out against this push? That is the question. It's a big question as well. Because now they've got 5 against 3. But that should be telling the others to go and push on the Mouse and the E100. Down goes Days. Down goes Yennefer, though. Sinkir is looking worse for wear. Are they going to leave the Mouse and take down Sinkir? Sinkir goes down. Rocky jumps down. Well, I don't know if he jumped. It was pushed by Oslo. Down goes Spitfires and Pipu Platt. 3 down for Serenity. Witcher getting a bit of a pounding there. Pipu Jail needs to come in. Pipu Devil finishing off the Witcher. 3 down on both sides. Hit points, however, still favouring APA. This reasoning, well, they've got a Mouse. And Brocky is a one-shot. Well, now he's a one-shot. Boom, down he goes. Oslo there in the Mouse, really proving a critical... Oh, Ambassador should go down here. Ambassador does. So, it's 3 against 3. Again, APA still have the advantage. Poor old Pipu Devil is on his long reload, and Maceo is not going to waste time with regard to that. Poor old Pipu Devil goes down. It's Pipu Jail and Kimmich left. Pipu Jail here is trying to give Marsink a hard time, but Marsink has got full HP and Pipu Jail has not. Pipu Jail is trying to get out there and get round, but he's not going to last. Kimmich is going to go down. Unless some unforeseen miracle is about to happen, this one is going to go to APA, meaning APA will win this round to the expense of Serenity. Well, yeah, not much they can do. I mean, they've got 1,000 against 6,000 hit points. It's that straightforward. Poor old Pipu Devil, the Pipu Jail, sorry, he gets rammed by Oslo in the Mouse. And he's going to be smacked by Marsink. It's all over for Pipu Jail, which means it's all over for Serenity. Because as much as Kimmich is a great player, there's no way he is going to be able to carry this. Not with 232 hit points. It is just not possible, I'm afraid. So, congratulations to APA, commiserations to Serenity. However, it's not all doom and gloom for Serenity. Not by a long shot. Although Kimmich is doing his best to hold on here. I mean, none of the APA tanks apart from Maceo. There we go, it's all over. I mean, Maceo just didn't want to push too hard because he was effectively almost a one-shot. So, there we go. What was the damage? So, the damage was... Okay, so... 13,533 is how much Serenity dished out. So there we have it, guys. Right then, I am now going to have a look at the chart because that's what we do. Next game will, I don't know when it will be actually. 20 minutes, and it will be Serenity against Reti. So Serenity, they're not out, not by a long shot. They will face Reti now, and they are going out at in about 20 odd minutes. They're going out on Desert Sands, Winter Malinovka, and Oasis Palms. I'm not going to do flyovers. I'm not going to do the flyovers because we're hoping to go and talk to Every Good Name Is Taken, so bear with me. Yeah, Ty, I'm about 30 away from 6k, so... But before I do that, I need to drop the game noise, because all you're going to hear is me. Hello.
There he is.
Yes, here I is. So, wowzers. APA on fire. What do you think about that then?
They are very on fire. I think what you said yesterday is very true, with the confidence boost of beating Endgame.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was always going to be that way, I thought. I mean, it is a confidence booster kicking the likes of Endgame. And, you know, if you're saying that it was going down to the wire, then it's even bigger confidence boost. But APA certainly came out of the blocks fighting today.
They were so dominant against Serenity.
Mm-hmm.
Especially these last two games. They did not stop.
No, it seems that on Mayan Ruins they had a plan and the plan worked. And, you know,
It absolutely was.
And I must admit, I was enjoying APA's strat on Mayan Ruins. It was not traditional. You know, they took an E100, they took a mouse, and then they stuck them in places where you wouldn't expect them to be stuck. And I like that.
Oh,
I like the way they do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just opening some sweets.
I can hear that.
Yeah, sorry. I need a sweetie. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. What
I
about
think
those
also
games?
Serenity was very out of place, though. Like, as we said yesterday, and we both agreed on that, they are very consistent in the way they play. But it just did not look like that at all.
Not today, no. They didn't look as consistent as they normally are, to be perfectly honest with you. They looked a little bit out of sorts, not going to lie. It wasn't their usual fluid type of tactic. Let's be honest. They seem to be, I don't know. It's like they were tentative a lot of the time. They were playing passively, which is unlike them, to be fair. Yeah. A bit like yesterday it was a bit like yesterday with Endgame. It's like they come against APA and it's like, I don't know if they're not ready for the aggression, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It's just that aggression and that absolute, like, hardcore aggression that APA showed just did not stop throughout most of these games when they did start to get into gear.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
So I think it might be that these teams just are not expecting for their opponent to be this aggressive, which works in their favor. Because usually EU is very slow, very composed, with only a small amount of pushes, being usually in the late game when the points hit around 750, 800.
Yeah.
But these pushes are very early and very aggressive as well, and they work.
Well, yeah, they do work, and APA have proved that they work. And, I mean, I like the fact they were sending, I think it was Maceo in the T22 on Mayan Ruins, down below the C cap. I mean, that was just brilliant. They put him down there, and then they put the E100 over, on the second game, moreover, they put the E100, they put the mouse, by where you'd overlook the B cap in a public game, yeah? And the Kranvag, and then pushed round the sea with almost their entire team apart from the U100 and a mouse. Yeah. Now, that should have sent the alarm bells to Serenity saying, well, hang on a minute, There's only 2 tanks here because they're pushing our 3 E5s, which means we got the advantage. But that's the problem. They've got a mouse to deal with and an E100. That's a lot of hit points.
They took very long with dealing with that.
But you could see that some of the Kranwagens are in 2 minds. Do we want to look at, putting shots into this mouse, or do we want to go down and sort of stop the push? But if we go down and stop the push, then we've got 2 massive super heavies behind us. One of them with the alpha roll of over 600, one of them with a...
Even with HE then, because they're showing their butts to them.
Absolutely, it's even bigger then. So, and then you've got poor old, you got the poor old Peepoo Devil there in the AMX-50B. Once he's out, he's out. Once his, and you could see that Maceo, I think was it Maceo in the T22? Was just waiting. He was just waiting for Peepoo Devil to be on his reload, to absolutely put pressure on him. Really, really clever play by APA.
Yeah, I think they just really trapped him because whatever they did, they were gonna lose that outcome. Because either you have 2 massive super heavies that are gonna shoot HE in your backs whilst they just start farming your E5s, or you deal with them but you just lose 3 tanks and which happened, but they were only able to deal with one of the 2 Germans. It just didn't work out either way, and that was very smart play by APA, like you said.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I thought their positioning there was very, very clever. And the way they just left the 2 super heavies and pushed everything towards the C cap to pushing those 3 E5s really took Serenity off guard, I think. And that's where it all went sort of downhill. Because Serenity are then caught in 2 minds. You can see the E5s are pulling back as much as they can. But
then the mouse is there, right?
Absolutely. There's not much they can do. So
it's just very dominant.
So, games notwithstanding, APA doesn't have the best reputation. A lot of detractors out there saying that APA never deserved to be top 4, blah, 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 blah. Is this, do you think, going to put those detractors to bed? Are APA now proving to everybody that they should, and they definitely do deserve to be there, regardless of what anybody may think?
There's the notion that, if you hate once, you'll keep on hating. Because usually you have no specific reason. Because most of these people don't have any connection to APA to begin with. They just hate for the reason of hating, or because others do it. But I think they definitely do show that they have capabilities to be in top 8. I mean, beating Endgame and then Serenity, both powerhouses this season, if I might call it that way. Yeah. Very confidently too, unless maybe the Endgame one that was close. But still, they beat them, and that not just by luck. They did beat them by their own skill.
But that was my next point. I mean, to be not being sort of trying to put APA down. Previously, they've been top 8 material. They've consistently been in the top 8, but they've never really shown to be top 4 material, if I'm being honest. Today, wow, from what I've seen so far, they're actually proving that they are ready to step up. They are going to be tested still. They've still got... I mean, Serenity is a very good clan. I have them down as being one of the best clans at the moment. Now Endgame are out. APA are still going to be tested against Loka. That is fair to say. But they survived and beat Endgame. And they have just dominated against Serenity. So I think APA are now showing that, with a little bit of hard work, you can move from top 8 to top 4.
Definitely. I think what we need to definitely consider now is not just our group, but also the other. Because that result is also in, and Loka dominated also with a 3-0.
Wow, so that's what I'm saying.
It's not just been APA winning, and I don't want to say a landslide, but it looked like one.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And
I mean,
Loka did the same.
Yeah, you're right. We can't forget Loka, which is why I mentioned them, because Loka, okay, they had a disappointing winter, but they have consistently been top 4 for a long time. They're going to now be a test for APA. Because these 2 teams eventually will end up meeting each other somewhere along the line. And
in the final stage, yeah.
And then it becomes a little bit more traumatic in that final stage. And, whilst both the teams have experience, that'll be the true test for APA. Now, unfortunately, I haven't seen Loka in this side, because obviously they're in the other group, and we're doing Group 1. So I have to go back and look at the replays. But what I'm seeing from APA at the moment is a very, very confident and very aggressive gameplay.
It really is, yeah. And I'm looking forward to this next one too, because Serenity must be bummed about that, because they did not show their top performance, I don't think. And Reti, who hopefully still have their boost from beating Endgame yesterday, are looking to, snaggle up a top 4 here, being first top 8 this season. And potential top 4 is within grasp right now, so they must be feeling very high.
Yes.
But
Well,
what do
you
you
would
think
have thought
about
so.
the coming match here?
Well, I mean, Reti didn't play too badly yesterday. Let's be honest; they played really well against Endgame. So Reti are going to be feeling confident. They're not going to be on the back foot. They're going to be buoyed over the fact that they beat and turned over Endgame 3-0. Something APA didn't do.
Wasn't that 3-1? Yeah, it's 3-1. I have.
Oh, so sorry, 3-1. Yes, it was. But again, it was still something that APA didn't do because they went to a decider. So Reti are going to be feeling slightly buoyed up by that. They're going to be coming in knowing that Serenity are going to be trying a little bit harder because one of them's going to go out today.
That is true.
So, Serenity will, as you said, will be a little bit down in the mouth, to be honest with you, after losing to APA in the manner that they lost. So they'll probably be holding on to their little tablets and whatever a little bit harder than what they normally would. Whereas Reti will be coming in a bit fresh. They've done a bit of training. They've probably blown the cobwebs out by doing a couple of training rounds. And they'll be coming into it with not the same mentality as Serenity, to be fair.
I just hope that there's not going to be a case of overconfidence, or maybe
Wow.
in the case of both ways in this fact, because Serenity, statistically and from the performance in the season, are the better team. I think we can both agree on that. So in that sense, you would feel somewhat safe, but overconfidence is not a good thing, and underestimating your opponent isn't either. But also, Reti needs to be definitely not too hot-headed here after beating Endgame. Even if they did beat them quite well, there's still one more to beat for that top 4 spot.
Absolutely. What time are we going out? We got 11 minutes, so that's plenty of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And, you see that a lot where you become overconfident. And, of course, Serenity, as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, whilst they may be a new clan, they are experienced players who've played together before, and they know what they're doing. They bring a lot of experience at this level. Now, one of the things that experience brings is, unlike some teams who've not experienced at this level, they will have the ability, Serenity, to brush off. They will still be disappointed, but they'll have the ability to brush off what's just happened against APA. So, there's two things going on here. You've got potentially Reti being overconfident and potentially Serenity being down in the dumps and trying hard. Or, alternatively, Serenity not being a bit miffed, but with their experience at play, they've been in this position before, and they'll turn it around, and they'll take it on the chin, and then they'll punish Reti for being overconfident. So you're right, Reti can't be overconfident. Confidence is a great thing, but not too much.
Yeah, I also think though what we need to consider here definitely is as you said, the experience, and I want to just point on that, because playing under pressure is not easy. For everyone who's done it before, especially on a level this high, when there's even money involved, and this guy's being a monetary prize to be had at the end of the season, and I mean, of course, the recognition of being quite far in this tournament. And the players of Serenity definitely had that. None of these players are new to the tournament scene. I'm not too sure about the lineup of Reti though, because we definitely have some new faces here, but we might have some that have played this previously. but they probably don't have enough experience, or not as much so. That might come into play here in these later matches when it gets more and more important to just keep on winning.
Totally agree. I mean, I remember going. I've never played in these type of tournaments, but I played in the old. Remember the bronze silver series,
Yeah.
and I remember going into the silver series, and even at that level, the tension is completely different to what you experience in quick tours. I mean, quick tours are a bit of fun. You can laugh it off. And it's like the season coin tours when you've only got one crack at the whip. You don't have a second life. You can't go back in again if you die. You've got one crack at the whip. And everything revolves around, firstly, listening to your caller. Secondly, having a good caller. Well, firstly, having a good caller. Secondly, listening to your caller. Thirdly, doing the job you're told to do. And fourthly, making sure you pen every single shot. And on top of all that, so you've got those four things. On top of all that, you've still got to play the game. You've still got to anticipate and work out what the other side are doing. You've still got to make sure that you're hull down or side scraping or doing this or doing that. And it's labour intensive, and it really, really does drain you mentally and physically, funnily enough. Even though you're sat in a chair with an iPad, it is draining because there's so much going on. So the experience, I mean, I remember when I did the very first sort of proper tour, not a quick tour, on the NA server with what was then GMA, and it was nerve-wracking. It really is nerve-wracking. It's a completely different kettle of fish. So fair play to these guys with the experience that they've got. And not only that, you make a mistake and people shout at you. They really do shout at you.
It's also not just like the points you mentioned definitely are correct, and I think one more thing to add is not just listening and doing the thing you're supposed to do, but also thinking for yourself. Because a mistake that some people do is just to start to sort of tunnel vision, but not in terms of your vision, but just what you're supposed to do. Some people are just going to be sitting there and waiting for their caller to tell them what to do. Whilst in other teams, you're going to have the caller give you the basic strat, but you're still going to have to keep on paying attention and react yourself to what is the enemy doing, where can I myself bring myself in to be effective, and how do I maybe, take some weight off my caller and help him out by making a play that will benefit the team.
Well, that's the other thing. You're 100% correct. I mean, it's not just about at this level. The reason why these guys, why clans look for the damage and the high win rate, is because they need to think independently to the caller as well. The caller can only take you so far, and the caller will just give you 9 times out of 10 the overview of what the strat's going to be. He's not going to tell you to side scrape or go haul down or do this and do that. He expects you to do that, and you're right, there are some players who sit there relying on the caller to literally hold their hand, which they cannot do because the caller themselves are in the game playing. So I mean, this is the thing. So there's a lot going on in these guys' heads when they're playing at this level, and sometimes we forget that. And I say on a majority of these big tour streams, their mistakes are magnified by like 1,000%, and we sit here and we look at it and say, oh, that's a big mistake, why would he do that? Whereas in the decision of the game and in the heat of the battle, it was the perfect thing to do, because they don't see the other tanks, they don't see what we see, they don't know what we know, because we get to see the whole map and get to see where everybody's going and potentially what they're doing. So it's completely different for them. And then you see one of them bounce a shot, and it's like, oh dear, is that going to be the end of the? Is that cost them the game? Because sometimes it can. Just a couple of bounces can cost the game. It's massive, massive kudos to them.
That does remind me of to just bring in an example on how much weight is on people. Last night when I did the challenges on NA, we went up until the tiebreaker of Zero Gravity versus Onslaught, I believe it was.
Okay.
And they played on Vineyards. And it was a pretty stalemate position. Both teams were holding quite nicely. And I was just pointing out a position that Alucard in an e5 was in. From the north spawn, when you go to the bridge, you of course have your position in counter cap area, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also on the other side of the river, you have that other spot where you can look into the ruins and everything. And that's where he was currently positioned. And I was pointing out that if you drive back too far, their opponent Vickers could shoot him. And of course, other tanks will have free range to shoot in the spot as well. So he needs to be careful. And unfortunately enough, he started to relocate, drove backwards, and he made the exact move that I was just pointing out. But he got perma-tracked out in the open. And because he only has one repair kit, because that's how you play E5s in tournaments, he was just screwed.
Yeah.
And that lost the game, more or less. Because an entire E5 was gone. You lost a very good vantage point, and the enemy team was able to completely take advantage of that. They got map control. The coverage for two of their tanks was completely lost because of that position. And that's how crucial these positions can be. But bashing on these players themselves won't do no good, because they know themselves they just fucked up. It's just about
totally, yeah, it does happen.
these mistakes and how you just improve on it.
Yeah.
You know?
But sometimes mistakes happen that you didn't make the mistake, and it always reminds me when I was streaming Win last time they played on Canal, and I think it was Kuma was in a Vickers. It was either Kuma or Killer was in a Vickers, and they'd spawned near the C cap, and obviously the strat was to go to D. And looking at the other side, it wasn't evident that they were going to go to the D cap. It was evident that they're probably going to go to A and B, yeah? So Vickers, it was either Kuma or Killer, decided to take the shortcut, pop across, instead of going all the way around past the train and everything, cut down into the canal, get up to the D cap that way.
Yeah.
Unbeknown to him, there were like 3 5s coming around the corner, and as he popped down, he got spotted, and he got absolutely triple tapped and wrecked in one go. So it wasn't really a mistake, but it kind of was a mistake, and that changed the entire game, because that was in like the first 30 seconds.
I'd say it's a mistake at that point. It's a gamble, because in the situation, what he did was evaluating the risk of getting to D very, very quickly, because on Canal caps matter even more so, and the risk of potentially losing a couple of hit points or just straight up dying. And
Absolutely.
to him, the value of getting those cap points was probably higher, so he ended up going for that. And it's not quite a mistake per se, it's just what you would logically think makes the most sense. But if we look at how to avoid risk the most, it's definitely not the best move to do.
Anyway, we got 25 seconds to go. We're on Desert Sands. I will talk to you after. Have a good one, my friend, and we'll talk after this game.
Sure. Let's enjoy ourselves in this
Indeed.
content.
Catch you in a bit, mate. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
So that was every. Now we're going to go into Desert Sands. We have Reti on the north spawn and Serenity on the south spawn. Desert Sands, wow, looking at that lineup. Everybody's all down, everybody's mobile. Is this going to be a desert strat and a big, big, big brawl? Who knows? So, looking at the teams, we have Spitty in a T22, Charlie Scene in a T22, Pencil Case E5, the Addy E5, Icky E5, Vicky in an E5, and No Pen in a Vickers. Looking over at Serenity, we have Brock in the IS4, Kimmich in the Crownwagon, Peepoo Devil in the T22, Peepoo Plat in the E5, Spitfires in the E5, Days in the E5, and Alpha in an E5. So, already we're going to be seeing these Vickers. Oh, No Pen's going really straight for it. Didn't expect that. I thought he would be holding, but no. I tell you, fortune favours the brave, or the bold. And he's going to get the cap here, because nobody else is going to be able to get there in time. Peepoo Devil was there, but he was not going to be stupid enough to put his head over the parapet to give No Pen a hard time. That is a cheeky, cheeky, cheeky cap indeed. Loving it. So, now Serenity's team have turned up the brace of E5s, but at the same time, so has Reti's team. So we are looking at a potential brawl in the desert. It's not a rumble in the jungle. No, it's not. It's a dust up in the desert. A shakedown in the sand. Whatever you want to call it. Already you've got the hit points being whittled down of Reti here. Days in the E5 dropping his reactive armor as Icky Pencil Case trying to put some damage into him. Pencil Case there, well, he's coming off West for Where. Icky's on his reload. Looking at the hit points, well, at the moment, Serenity favour it. They're not even bothering with the cap. There's no point at this stage of the game, in their opinion. They are looking to absolutely annihilate Reti. Now, Addy is really, really under pressure. Peepoo Devil and Peepoo Plat are looking to take him down. Pencil Case also. Oh, Spitfires comes in to try and help out, but Pencil Case and Addy go down. Peepoo Plat is one shot, but Charlie Scene is trying to get out of there. He is being chased down by Days, Peepoo Devil, and everybody else. Down goes Spitty, down goes Vicky. It's 3 against 6. Charlie Scene, oh, he's being whittled down to next to nothing, and he's out of there. Icky is now the next on the hit list, along with Al No Pen. But Icky is going to go down first. Now it's Al No Pen. He's the last man standing. Not much he can do. He's in a Vickers. This is much better aggression by Serenity. Much better focus fire. Reti coming out the blocks. Maybe a little bit of that overconfidence as we were talking about. But they were coming out the blocks very quickly. And boy, did they get punished. Really, really good cap advantage to begin with by Al No Pen. But really good focus fire and coverage by Serenity. So Serenity taking up the mantle. 1-0 to them here. As you can see, I mean, hit point wise, well, Serenity very dominant indeed. So, changing those spawn points and a chance to get a battle pass. Right, so da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to swap those spawn points. I was just typing in YouTube because of this giveaway. So, looking at the spawns, we've got Reti now on the south spawn, Serenity on the north. Reti, well, we have Charlie Scene in a T22, Al No Pen in a Vickers, Max Spitty in a T22, Pencil Case in an E5, the Addy in an E5, excuse me, Icky in an E5, and Vicky in an E5. Moving over to Serenity, we have Peepoo Devil in a T22, Ekimich in a Kranwagen, Peepoo Plat in an E5, Spitfires in an E5, Brocky in a T22, Days in an E5, and Alpha in an E5. That's where we're at now, guys. Just checking. There's, I mean, not streaming. I thought you were streaming today. Oh, doesn't look like it. It's intriguing, to say at the very least. Oh, I'll deal with that later. So, hopefully, I mean, that's okay. Is she with Wildrun's helper? It's just that she's got a stream sort of scheduled. Anyway, are we going to get exactly the same as we've just seen? Let's find out. Hit points, wow, in favour of Serenity. Let's have a look. So, Al No Pen, is he going to do the same thing? Is he going to do exactly the same thing? Well, this time, Brocky and Peepoo Devil in the T22s. Al No Pen, no, this time he is waiting behind the dune, which is what I thought he was going to do last time, but clearly not. He went straight in. I think it was intended. I don't think it was done sort of, you know, accidentally on purpose. I think he actually intended to go there. He has spotted, and now he's rotating out of there, back in towards his spawn area. He's looking for the safety of the heavies, and alternatively to try and get around and get that C-cap. So this is pretty much what we just saw, although in reverse. This time Serenity bit between the teeth. And they are not going to be stopping, I don't think. They are looking to try and get a lot of damage into these E5s. There's only 3 of them over this side. The T22 and the Vickers are coming round, and Vicky is coming up through the middle of the desert, completely on his own and isolated. Pipu, Devil Air, Kimmich and Brocky should be able to sort that out. Pencil Case, well, he is the target of attention at the moment. Everybody wants a bit of Pencil Case. And as you can see here, Serenity are obliging. Poor old Pencil Case. Down he goes. Alpha. Down he goes, though. Yeah, you take the eye off the ball. That's what happens. Now we've got Oretti trying to get in, mix it all around a bit. Max Spitty. Oh, the Addy goes down. That came out of nowhere. So No Pen is going to go down in the Vickers. Be rammed to death by Days. Charlie Scene. Well, they're not interested. They're interested in Max Spitty here. Spitty is the one being taken down, but he's trying to get Spitfires before he goes, and he doesn't. But Charlie Scene does, and K-Watt, actually, yeah, it was Icky who got him, but Charlie Scene goes down. It's 2 against too many yet again. And Serenity continuing their charge. Poor old Icky, last man standing. He's got a lot of hit points, but hey. He's not going to be able to... Look, he's being surrounded. He's just being... Why are you bullying Icky? It's not his fault. And he tries to get Brocky out, but he doesn't. And Days takes him down. So, convincing stuff here on Desert Sands by Serenity. Putting behind... Literally, this is more like what we expected Serenity to play like against APA, but they didn't, and they lost. But this is back to the good old Serenity of what we've been seeing during the PYSs. So there you see there, you had to predict the damage dished out by Reti. It was 9,448. Yeah, low damage. I wonder if anybody's going to get that one. So, there we have it. Give you all a break now because we've got another game to go after this. So now we've got Reti on the North Spawn, Serenity on the South Spawn here on Winter Malinovka. I've got to tell people to stop predicting. So Serenity, we've already read it up. We have Pipu Devil in a Vickers, Flytix coming in an E5 ahead, Kimmich in a Crownwagon, Pipu Platt in an E5, Spitfires in a VK72, Rocky in a Mouse, and Days in an E5. Moving over to Reti, we have Charlie Scene in an E100, now No Pen in a Vickers, Max Spitty in a Vickers, Pencil Case in an E5, Forever Green in an E5, Icky in an E5, and Vicky in an E5. Well, I think that one's going to be a bit of a toughie. I don't think anybody was predicting less than 12k. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think Object 457 is the closest with 8,600. Simple as that. Anyway, let's have a look at those hit points. Well, at the moment, they are in favour of Serenity by just over 1,000. Just over 100. No, just over 1,000. Quite significant. Actually, when it starts becoming like over 1,000, it then becomes significant at this level of the game because it's like a whole half a tank. It's like half a tank out there. So we've got the Vickers here of Spitty and now No Pen pushing right down, trying to get those overshapes. Pipu Devil is there in the Vickers. He's going to drop straight into the A-cap. Pipu Platt nicely forward there into the groove. Just not on the ramp, just off the ramp. Forever Green coming in. Well, that's a great shot by Pipu Platt, anticipating Forever Green. Poor old Evergreen here, getting pummeled. He can take a little bit, but not too much. Pipu Devil, down he goes. Wowzers. He got absolutely wrecked trying to get out of there. That's now put Serenity a bit on the back foot. Poor old Pipu Platt is now getting pummeled as well. Brocky comes in, steps in, gets in front, tries to protect him. But Vicky and Icky are looking to get him down. Flytick's coming down to also relieve the pressure. Down goes Icky. So, levelling it up on the tanks. But Peepoo Platt really is a one-shot and he is worse for wear. Charlie C may be looking to try and drop onto him. If not, Vicky will just take him down now with a shot. There we go. Spitfires, well, Pencil Case is looking worse for wear as well. Poor old Pencil Case, down he goes. And at the same time, Forever Green, dazed now. He is a one-shot. He's got to be safe. Problem is, you've got Charlie Scene over there, but he's not loaded. Brocky is being pummeled. Spitty, well, down he goes. Does Daze. It's 4 against 3 in favour of Retty. They have got a mouse, and Flytix is absolutely getting battered. This one is going to be going not the way that Serenity wanted. Ed Kimmich needs to take. Yes, he does. It's 3 against 2. Now, Ed Kimmich is very healthy, and so is Spitfires. But Ed Kimmich has got to load. Oh, that's a bounce. That's not what he wanted. And as you can see, behind him, he's got Al Nopen in that Vickers. And this is the thing about the Vickers. When you're in a position like this and you're a very healthy tank, the DPM on that thing is just insane. Can Spitfires carry? Well, that's the $56 billion question. It's actually meant to be $64,000 question, but it's not. It's the $65 billion question. Can Spitfires carry? Well, most likely no. And I was right. Most likely no. So, they bring one back, do Retty. Ooh. Who would have believed it? Great stuff from Retty there. Putting behind them the loss in the last 2 games. Obviously, they are liking Winter Malinovka. Admittedly, losing Peepoo Devil for a donut very early on in the game there was not part of Serenity's game plan. I don't think they practiced that one in training. He absolutely got mullered. I think he had an engine fire and everything. I don't think he was ammo racked. I think he was just like triple tapped. Anyway, swapping those spawn points here on Winter Malinovka. Game. Retty are looking to turn it over. Serenity is still at match point. They will be going out on the North spawn with Serenity and Retty on the South spawn. Both teams are effectively fighting for their existence in the remainder of this tournament, with Retty, in fairness, on the back foot. But we've just seen a very convincing win by Retty, and can they do it again? So, we have Serenity, Peepoo Devil in a Vickers, Flytix in an E5, Ed Kimmich in a Kramwagen, Peepoo Platt in an E5, Spitfires in a Mouse, Brocky in the IS4, Daze in an E5. Moving over to Retty, we have Charlie Scene in an E100, Al Nopen in a T22, Max Spitty in a T22, Pencil Case in a Clan, Forever Green in a Mouse, Icky in an E5, and Vicky in a Clan. And nobody told me I forgot to put the sound back on after speaking to Every. It's so annoying. Now you've got sound. Sorry about that. You didn't have sound for like 3 games. Nobody said a thing. Nobody said a thing. Hey, what do you think, Lippy? Nothing wrong with the barbers here, mate. So, yeah, no expense spared. Cost me all at $20. So, is Retty able to push this to a decider? Was that the boost they needed? Or was that the kick in the teeth that Serenity needed to say, stop looking around, let's put this to bed, go back out against APA and turn them back out and turn them over. So, let's get up high into the back of the map. We are rolling with Retty at the moment. They have got their 2 super duper heavies. T22s are Alpen and Spitty heading towards the A-cap. Super heavies wedged for the middle, and the Crown Wagons will be overlooking the ramps. Moving around, well, Peepoo Devil is looking for those early spots with the rest of the team heading towards the C-cap. Yeah, you heard me. Although Brocky and Spitfires will peel off. Spitfire's looking to look around the middle area of the map. Here he comes underneath me. No, he's just holding back. Peepoo Devil gets his spots. He's seen where they are. Basically, the A-cap will be taken by Retty, but the C-cap will now be taken, and probably quicker because there are all 3 tanks in the cap. That they may not get there quicker. Yes, they will. They'll cap it first, and then therefore they will take the slight advantage. And it is very slight, but an advantage nevertheless. As you can see, Still a lot of hit points between them. Not really. Oh, there go the aeroplanes. Kimmich just holding back here, as you can see, just holding behind the church. He's completely unspotted. So Reti now are the ones who have to do the pushing. So Reti have got to consider, do they push for the B or do they pick a flank and try and push down the flank? Now you can see Charlie Sheen over there. Well, he's put a good smack into Daze. Daze is just pushing up to try and get into a haul down position. Now they're putting shots across into Charlie Sheen. But Charlie Sheen, well, to be fair, he is spotted, but he's in a E100. And it's very difficult to get those shots in from distance. Especially when he's face on like that. That's why Daze push forward. Icky, however, different kettle of fish because he's in an E5. So Reti are pushing through the middle and down the flank at the same time. So it's a double coordinated push. We've got Charlie Sheen here along with Icky trying to push down on the flank. Forever Green is going to coordinate with them and try and join up around the back to give Daze a real big hard time. Spitty and Al Noped have now joined the fray as well in support. So this is why poor old Daze is going to go down here. He can't take this a barrage from 4, although one of them is now dropped off, which is Al Noped. Down he goes, taken out by Forever Green in the mouse. So, but they've lost a lot of hit points doing that. Admittedly, an E5 is down for Serenity. However, Vicky is now down, so even Stevens on the tank front. Poor old Flytix, he needs to get a couple of shots into Charlie Sheen at least before he goes down. Is he going to be able to get Charlie Sheen down? Well, there's one. He's now a one shot, so he's not going to last because Icky should be able to finish him off, or even Max Spitty. Down he goes. Flytix is down, but over this side, look at the hit points. Icky is now a one shot. Al Nopen is a 2 shot. Forever Green, well, he's a mouse. And as you can see, Spitfires isn't even bothering. Pencil Case is also looking worse for wear. Charlie has gone down. Brocky will go down here, though. Although Brocky looks like he's AFK. No, he's not AFK. I don't know what he was going on there. He must have been tracked. Brocky will go down to Spitty. There he goes. But at the same time, Pencil Case also goes down. So it's 3 against 4. Serenity do have the advantage. They have the advantage on guns on the battlefield. They have the advantage on hit points. They have the advantage on base points. Well, Peepoo Devil has gone down, so it's 3 against 2. Forever Green and a mouse. Spitty is going down, so it's just Forever Green. This one is going to Serenity. Serenity are going to win this one. It was a great game. I mean, poor old Reti. They are going out. They gave it a good tussle. We saw some great action from them yesterday. Serenity, well, a little bit out of sorts against APA. Much better in this game, I must admit. They've come back to be normal. So there you go. This is what we expect. That's nothing to say against Reti. Reti have played a great tournament so far and fantastic. Well, there you go. Congratulations to Serenity and commiserations to Reti. However, you did take the biggest scalp of the EU server. Because of Reti, Endgame are not here. It was Reti who scalped them. It was Reti who took them down. So there we go. So, anyway, guys, don't predict. There was no prediction. No prediction. Not in that game. You didn't need to predict anything. Not for that game. Anyway, I'm going to drop the sound again because we're going to talk to Every again. So, let me just take my ugly mug off. Ooh, let me find a replay. Guys, there's no prediction. No point in you telling me what the prediction is. There is no prediction. Sorry. Simple as that. Okie dokie. Let's see if Mr. Every is around. Ta-da! Ooh. So as I said, I mean, that was the Serenity we sort of are used to, unlike what we saw against APA. And ironically, we are going to see them again against APA in about 30 minutes. Yes, it's a long time. 30 minutes.
Fuji.
Welcome back, Serenity. There we go. Hello.
Before we start with anything, though, Fuji.
So again,
Before we start with
Anything, I need to
Yeah.
say something.
go on then.
That is that we are gonna get 4
revenge games,
I know.
because BPS is gonna play Loka again,
Yeah.
APA is playing
Serenity again, Vale is playing Quick again, and IW is playing Raid again.
Well, there you go. Look, it's all kicking off. And I had a revenge game earlier on Asia as well, which it was Feast went out against ID again.
Yeah, what do you think of that last game, Fuji? Before
The
we
very
get
last-
ahead of ourselves.
The last game, I thought Serenity put themselves in really good positions. They, they fast capped C, put all 3 tanks in there, which was the right thing to do. Put, unfortunately, Reti on the back foot. Reti did the right move. They pushed at the centre they pushed just off centre and down the flank at the same time. But they just bled, and Serenity were just waiting for them to do that.
Yeah, they really bled hard in both of these games, actually.
They did.
Serenity took absolute control of that. It was just domination. That is, these first 2 games were what APA did to Serenity, basically.
Yes. And this is the thing. So when we were saying before the games that because of the experience, they're able to put certain things behind them and bounce back quite quickly. Well, there's the evidence of how quickly they can bounce back at this level.
Very true.
And that was more the Serenity that I expected to see against APA, if I'm being honest. That was not the Serenity we saw against APA. It was a completely different Serenity. I don't know, maybe they were cold, maybe they just weren't focused enough. You don't know. But that was not or maybe they were just flustered because APA were just outplaying them. Either way, the Serenity we've just seen was not the Serenity we saw against APA. It's that straightforward.
Definitely, yeah. I really want to talk about that third game, though. That first Winter Malinovka.
Mm-hmm.
I think Reti played that absolutely beautifully and very smart. Because they kept their Vickers behind. They let Devil do his thing at C cap. Which, or was it the A cap? I don't actually know.
It was the A cap, but then he got what was it? He was triple or quadruple tapped as he tried to get out of there.
So yeah, it was the A cap, and he got smacked by the double Vickers, who held back
Yeah.
really well.
Oh yeah.
Patiently waiting, and then started pushing in with the rest of the heavy tanks. And that is what you need to do if you do a double push, like the one that Reti did. Because usually what ends up happening, and what did happen to some teams prior this season, is that they intend to push from 2 flanks, but one is too early or the other is too late. You mismatch and the enemy team reacts well enough, and you just lose. But this didn't happen. Reti timed this really, really well. They got out the Vickers and got the rest of their tanks to stuck in. And even though they had a 1400 Amarek on their side, they still won that game because they kept those Vickers alive.
Correct, but the other thing I noticed about that particular game, which I didn't see, and again, no disrespect to Reti, but I didn't see it in Desert Sands, and I didn't see it. It kind of was there in the last game, but not as evident. Their focus fire in that third game was much better. They isolated tanks, and they focused those tanks and took those tanks down. And you could see that with the fact that Spitfires being in the VK-72 was basically a pedestrian for most of that game, because he was just being blocked by the super heavy of Reti, who wasn't trying to put shots into him.
Yeah,
if you
that
noticed.
was the E100.
Sorry, the E100, yes. He wasn't even trying to fight the VK of Spitfires. He was putting shots across the map into the softer targets and the E5s. And I mean that was much better focus fire by Reti. They lacked that in the first 2 games on Desert Sands, and that was their undoing, in my view. I mean, on the first game on Desert... Well, the first game on Desert Sands, I'll be honest with you, I thought, I said, oh, wow, watching... I can't remember who it was now. Its name's completely escaped me. Dropping into that A cap. I don't think it was an accident. I think he purposely meant to get the A cap and cap right onto the nose of the T22 of Serenity. I thought, wow, they come out the blocks pretty well here and it's looking good. But then their focus fire just left them, and Serenity were just able to isolate and focus every tank individually. And that's what lost Serenity that game. That's what lost Reti that game. And the second game on Desert Sands, pretty much the same thing. The focus fire of Serenity was just better than Reti. And then Reti go and spoil it all on Winter Malinovka, where they found their rhythm again with the focus fire, and it was beautiful to watch. It was really good, really well executed, a really good strat, holding back those tanks as you said, and then isolating and focus firing the low hit points, yet harassing the other tanks of Serenity so they can't get shots in, like the VK. Really well played indeed.
Yeah, that was strategically a masterclass, and what you would expect from games in that high, tournaments. Mm-hmm. Not saying that the others weren't, but that was just a very good example of what kind of a strategic mind you need to have to even be able to create these strategies and then lure your opponents into them.
Yeah,
especially because it's always a gamble. Do the opponents even play the way I want them to? So very good reaction, I think.
Totally, and I feel slightly sorry for Reti because they didn't put too many feet wrong apart from the focus fire left them a game in the last game. I mean, okay, they didn't expect, or you wouldn't have expected them for Serenity to put all of 3 of their E5s into the C cap, but they did, and they just managed to get that advantage. And then all they had to do was take up positions, waiting for Reti to push, and it was either going to go either down a flank and through the middle, or just through the middle, and they just predicted it was going to go down a particular flank, and they were Serenity were happy, I think, to lose Days as a sacrifice while he held up 3 or 4 of their tanks
to be killed even.
That's the point, and and that's what Serenity were hoping for. And this is the thing. I mean, if you watch, it happened when Days is in this sort of situation. He's been in those situations before, where he's been the lone tank, and he's really, really held up a lot of tanks for a long time. He did it on New Bay, if you noticed, in APA. He did do it on New Bay as well, where on the game that they won there, where he was on the ramp, and they just couldn't kill him. And he was like, there were 4 tanks on him, and they just couldn't kill him.
Yeah.
By the time they got rid of him, it's too late because the rest of the team have mopped up. And the thing is, I mean, I can't remember what he was. I think he was in an E4. No, he was in an E5 again. I think on New Bay, and it's not common to see an E5 last that long. To be fair, against that many tanks. So whatever he does, angling and maneuvering is really, really good. Really, really good.
I think it's also just outmaneuvering in the way that they block each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he did too, partially. Just avoiding those that haven't shot yet by just moving in the way of other people. And it worked really well for them. And I think it also, again, came down to focus, and they just bled way too much in that last game, especially early on. I'm not sure where they even dropped all those hit points, because all of a sudden they went down 3k.
Well, I mean, they did drop a lot coming round, to be fair. I mean, don't forget with the 3k, a lot of that 3k was with the E100. That was pushing on to Days. And that was the thing. So, whittling down an E100 like that really takes a lot out. And then you've got, the E5s coming in as well behind, and the T22s all having pop shots to put at them, because Days is spotting them all up as they come across. And with 2 tanks already there, pushing, and the mouse on the other side, it didn't take, Serenity that long to figure out they were coming down the flank. to be honest. So they just had their guns trained in that direction. It was clever anticipation by Serenity, and not the best of focus fire from Reti, to be fair.
Yeah, I think they definitely can take a lot out of these games that they had yesterday and tonight, though. I think they've definitely can still learn a lot from it if they do try themselves again in summer season or maybe even autumn, depending on when they want to show up. But I think if they fix their issues, being I think what we can push it down to is being focus fire, and probably also just more experience in tournaments itself, then they can be also a very strong and dangerous team to play against. Because if they keep up the strategic mind that they did in the third game, that is dangerous.
Totally, but this is the thing. I mean, kudos to Reti. I mean, they've been a challengers team for quite a while. To be fair, they've stepped up to the big leagues, and they've shown that that they're ready for the stepping up. They may have gone down early here, but they took a big scalp, the biggest scalp in doing so. Reti are the reason Endgame are not in this tournament. Let's not forget that. That is just a massive, massive pin on your chest medal. It really is. I mean, so they can't be too disappointed. They've played. They've played two of the best teams that I would say in this group anyway. They played the best teams in this group, Serenity and Endgame. Lost to one, beat the other. And they lost, fair play to them. They've done well. They have done well.
They really have, yeah. But I'm very looking forward to this next one because, as you've said, as we started the discussion, maybe Serenity just was still cold. So now warming up, beating out Reti. How will they face against the ever so aggressive APA that we've seen in this top 8 so far? It's going to be interesting.
Well, it is, because now they will anticipate if APA are going to be aggressive or not, and they'll be ready for it this time. So it'll be a different mindset for them. It will be a different mindset for them. And, I as I said, I streamed a similar matchup earlier on Asia, where Feast and ID went out first off, and Feast basically annihilated ID. It was 3-1, I believe. Or something along that. Yeah, 3-1. And Feast were quite aggressive, and ID looked all out of sorts. ID then went into the lower bracket, and they beat their opponent there. So they got to face Feast again. And they absolutely annihilated them 3-0. So they just came, ID just obviously warmed up and came with a different mindset. And there is a thing when, I mean, I know clans don't purposely do this, because no clan would purposely purposely not play well in a game to drop down a bracket to get more exposure. But sometimes
I have to
does help
call
them.
you out on that one, Fujit. Because R2K did that once.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Because they did that once to just not show their strategies and then just came through the losers and beat everyone straight ahead.
Well,
but it's very risky because it could end up biting you in the back.
Indeed, I mean it's a double-edged sword. You're right. I mean, we had this conversation during the Blitz Cup, if you remember.
Yeah.
Where we thought that Endgame purposely played badly to drop down a bracket and then have an easier route in, and they went on to have that easier route in the end. Plus getting that much needed warm up, etc., in a tournament rather than in a training room environment. But as you said, it is a risky strategy because you don't know what your opponent is going to do, to be fair.
And you have no second chances once you're down there to begin with.
That's true, but going into this next round, we have APA who've played one game tonight, and now Serenity have played 2. So Serenity are a little bit more match ready, so to speak.
We also need to keep in mind as well, not a lot is at stake now anymore, because all these teams are qualified. We have our top 4, they all move on to the final stage tomorrow. But I'm not quite sure actually, but this might still just influence who plays who tomorrow.
I think it
The
does.
winner beats the loser tomorrow, so
Yeah,
But
I think
it's
that,
not just of we're just gonna nonchalantly play, but you want to play to secure yourself a potential easier time.
What time are we out? We're out at 42, isn't it?
We still have 14 minutes here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think what it does is just settles who is going to play who. So I think the winner of Group 1 plays the loser of Group 2 and vice versa. I think that's all it does, rather than doing it on any other reason. So you're right. I mean, strictly speaking, there is nothing really to be gained other than getting a favourable grouping, to be honest with you. But you don't know what the other teams are going to do. I mean, what is favourable? I mean, who's favourable? BPS, are they favourable to Loka? I mean, both teams are very good. I don't think you can turn around and say one is weaker than the other. It doesn't work that way. Not at this level. So it's a risky strategy again. So I think we're going to find them both throwing everything at it because they both want to be in the top group to play, to try and get some favourability there. But who knows? Who knows?
I mean, all of these teams are very strong now, so it might even not be that great. But I think what we might see happen here is teams holding back for the purpose of not showing their trump cards or just strategies that we might need to play on similar maps or even the same maps again in the final stages. So that could very well happen, but I hope that there's no gonna be like, we're just gonna play purposely bad to not show what we got. So it's gonna be interesting.
It will be. I mean, I think you're right there. I don't think we're gonna. They may just hold back on on showing their hands on some of their strats in meta selection. You're probably right there. Obviously, they're gonna have different maps though tomorrow. I don't know what the maps are for tomorrow yet.
Yeah, but we might see some repeats later on down the line, of course.
Mm-hmm. Although there's still a lot of maps to go. I mean, there's still Oasis, Yukon, Normandy. Camp Stiller.
Oh
Faust,
god, not that much. I
Dynasty's
so hope we're not
Pearl.
gonna have Castilla tomorrow.
Yeah, there's still Middleburg to go, Naval Frontier, Vineyards. There's still a lot of maps to go. So the chances are, we may get a couple of, in the decider, some of the maps that they've already seen. I think the maps we're going out on now is going to be Alpenstadt and Hallas, with the decider on Rockfield, I believe. I think that's how it's set up for this one, if it's the same as what Asia had earlier.
It should be. The maps are usually across servers the same, at least when it comes pro to pro. There's still a difference between challengers and professionals, though, in the map selections.
Oh yes, definitely. But it is set up to be a good game. People keep asking me how many battle passes left. I don't know.
Depends how many more tournament streams you do in professions.
Oh, yeah, there's 4. It's 10 per stream.
That's true. I still have 3 to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting games tonight. I'm very happy with the results. But that team might not be so happy with dropping out. But I mean, someone had to go, right?
You can't keep everyone.
Somebody has to go. Somebody has to go.
But I mean, they've definitely shown their worth here. They can definitely be proud of themselves.
But
I am very deeply excited to
what we can expect from these next games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any predictions on your side?
Well, I think Serenity will be looking to turn it over on APA after suffering the loss earlier, and they'll come out and say no, it's not going to happen again. APA, however, will be saying, well, we've done it once, we can do it again. So I think it's going to be close. It wouldn't surprise me if it goes to a decider, but it all depends. I mean, we've just seen a very strong Serenity, to be honest. So I don't know.
We have.
And don't forget, APA have just had over an hour's break.
But that also means they had the chance to analyze how Serenity plays now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a mix and match on.
Yeah, but
how
this is
do
the
you
thing.
react.
But that's the thing, you see. I mean, which Serenity is going to turn up? Is it going to be
That is true,
APA
but-
Serenity or is it going to be Reti Serenity? Which one's going to turn up?
Or is it a new one?
Or is there a new one? Yeah. You
But
just,
the
you
thing
know,
is,
this is.
you make a very good point here, and people forget, and I think we've maybe slid on this yesterday a bit, but it's also mentally very taxing. And for APA, who just, more or less rested for an hour now, able to analyze what was their opponent doing, what were they playing, what could we possibly exploit from the way they reacted to certain stuff, while Serenity had to play 2 games in a row already, with not much break in between. Yes, you have your 20 minutes or even 30 in between the matches, but to properly calm your mind and everything, that might not always be enough time. And having to play one again might put a toll on them. That will definitely be one of the deciding factors, I think. Can Serenity keep their mental game up?
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I think that's completely correct. Will they be able to keep that mental game going? And are they now back into a groove where they're more calm, more collective, sat there thinking, okay, well, first game we were just warming up, it was a blip or whatever, I don't know. But we've just played how we normally play. We've just done that. We've just been in that game. We've just played that game. We had a bit of a blip on the third match where Reti outplayed us, but aside from that, we were in control. We just need to keep doing that. And if they come in with that attitude, I think they're going to give APA a harder time. And as I said, as we both said, this is 2 different Serenities. We have the APA Serenity and the Reti Serenity. At the moment, there's only one APA that we've seen, and that is the aggressive APA. Now, if the aggressive APA,
aggressive.
yeah, well, if the aggressive APA turn up that faced Serenity earlier, Serenity will be ready for it. If the passive one turns up, Serenity may be able to control the game a bit more. So it's one of these double-edged swords. Either way, I mean, both teams, I think, will be looking to try and turn each other over as per usual. And it'll be an interesting. It's an interesting matchup. It's a very interesting matchup.
But you bring up a good point there with potential passive APA, which they're very aggressive tonight. Like, we can't understate that. That was overly aggressive for what you normally see on EU, and not even that aggressive on even RU sometimes. But if APA is able to take advantage of that, they might just go for a sort of change of pace and try to throw off APA, or not APA, but Serenity via their rhythm. Maybe expecting very aggressive, or just going less aggressive, or just, as you said, fully defensive, might just throw them off entirely. All of that still comes into play here. And I'm just excited to see what exactly will be that both teams will go for.
Well, Alpha's just said in my YouTube chat, hopefully we will get our revenge. So I think that tells you some of the mentality that we may be looking from Serenity. So
Well,
that's
yes,
what
as we've said, all these games now that don't matter too much other than probably seeding are all revenge games.
Well, indeed.
But
And as you
Can I
pointed
interest
out,
you in one topic, if we maybe stray from our matchup here for a bit?
of course.
Quick has beaten Vale 3-2 in the upper brackets.
Have they? I haven't seen that yet. I'm still loading up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they
have
did.
the bracket, and that is something for a team that jumped into top 6 with or top 16 by 10 points at the last day.
That is a very impressive result, and then Vale coming back with a 3-0 on Reckham.
Well, this is where it becomes difficult because, no offense to Quick, but Wreckham were almost top 8, and by default a better team. So I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those. Were they looking for an easier route in? Is it another R2K scenario or not? I don't know. When it's 3-2, I would normally say no, it's not, because it's 3-2. But obviously Vale, not impressed with themselves losing 3-2 and upping their game to beat Wreckham 3-0. So maybe that's another Serenity type thing.
Could potentially be, and it's the same with the raid game.
I have heard, and apparently we have been scolded as streamers for this, but because we've said that Raid's performance has been lacking, but that apparently boiling down to more of Raid not playing all too seriously anymore because they were starting to get tired. And that means that may reflect in the game they had where IW beat them 3-1. But I mean, again, they beat Kraken 3-1 as well, so we might see Raid here maybe stepping up their game a bit, or just, as I said, nonchalantly just taking things as they go. Will be interesting to see.
Potentially. I mean, you mentioned there something about streamers, about Raid. What was that? I missed that bit.
That we apparently Raid had announced that they weren't gonna play all too seriously.
Oh, really?
When we just all boiled it down to saying they aren't performing well, but that was apparently our misjudgment, as I have been told. So.
Okay,
Nothing
maybe.
too severe, but it may just be an underside of us. So.
Obviously, I can't speak for Raid. To be honest with you, maybe they are taking it seriously. I don't know. But you'd have to ask the question: why would they not take a tournament seriously? Is it because they're still building? Is it because they're still gelling together?
We're
I mean,
starting to get tired from what I heard. I can't, of course, say that this is fully true, but it's just what I have been told.
Could be true, but they did lose a lot of players following winter, to be fair. So I can't see how the entire team could be tired. But, Raid, if Raid feel that way, then Raid feel that way. I mean, we can't second guess them if they're saying that, look, we're a bit worn out because we play a lot of tournaments, then fair play to them. They do play a lot of tournaments, and I get that. I understand that. Maybe they just can't be... Maybe the tiredness comes with... Maybe we just can't be bothered to do strats every 5 minutes and do a lot of training. Maybe it boils down to that. Maybe that's the tiredness side, when the less seriousness of the tour.
In the end, all we can do is speculate. In the end, it comes
well,
all down
totally.
to...
Well, totally. I mean, it's like when we go back to the winter season. Loka had a disastrous winter season, and even Loka would be the first to admit that. It was an awful season for them, and they've bounced back. Raid have been misfiring for a couple of seasons now. It's not just been this season. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
So you never know. You never know. I always think Raid are under a lot of pressure. Because they're Raid, and because they're the Twister winners, they're always under pressure to perform, and everybody expects them to perform. And, when they don't perform, everybody criticises them, saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. And it is a little bit unfair, because there's just a high expectation on them, that's all. And they're only human, and like all teams, they come and go, come and go.
That is very true. But yeah, maybe not straying off too far now. We have Alpenstadt. Our first game is starting.
Yeah, just over a minute and a half to go.
Yep. Very interesting lineups though. We see some German super heavies back at it again.
Well, I always find
from them.
I always find in Alpenstadt that there's always room to bring in a super heavy. And they like to place them around that B cap area. Sometimes they like to put them on the ramp if they're on that side, or just down by the little coffee shop or cafe or whatever you want to call it, where you can wreck the little table and chairs outside, just by the big rock. But again, it surprises me to an extent. I mean, APA so far have been reluctant to really roll out, although Ernstned is now in a T22. I've been surprised with the lack of mobility that that APA have been sort of. They've not had much mobility in their lineups.
That's a very good point, especially seeing as how they still played aggressively regardless of what they used. So this being a bit more mobile, especially with double E5 on a relatively small map in terms of open space and cluttered areas, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, with that,
we'll see each other maybe after the games with the other two, and enjoy your commentary.
And you, mate, have a good one.
Bye for now.
See you in a bit. Cheerio. Okay, we're back. Just us again. Everest gone, he's left us. So, guys, guess the damage dished out by Serenity in game 1. This is game 1. So, 3-1 to APA. The last time these guys met, that was the first game out this evening. Which Serenity is going to turn up for this one, though? Let's get up and find out. So already we've got NZ going out towards where the A cap is. The rest of APA heading towards the C and the B cap area. Moving round. We need to move around a bit quicker. There we go. Let's move around a bit quicker. Well, here we go. We've got the Mouses, the Spitfires and Pipu Platt along with Brocky heading towards the B cap. Interestingly, Osceola and Yennefer in their super heavies and not... Well, Osceola is heading towards down the B cap lane with Yennefer and Ambassador just keeping on the corner here. Pipu Platt is trying to push round. Gets the spot. That's good. As you can see here, C cap and A cap taken. The advantage will be going, however, to APA. And they got into that C cap a lot quicker. But Serenity are in a good-ish position here. You can see that this is not as aggressive as we saw earlier from APA. They were out the blocks a lot quicker in the last few games that they played. Pipu Platt here, well, him and Spitfires are just jostling for positioning. You can see APA, well, they're sort of condensed in the one area at this moment in time. More like a coiled spring, protecting the flank. Thinking, well, either they're going to come down that flank or they're going to push through the middle. And this is why they've stacked their tanks where they've stacked their tanks. If anything comes over that bridge, Ambassador and Oslo will be able to really push them down. And that's why they are here. And if we rise back out, you've got Alpha rotating around back through the into his spawn. Shots going into Spitfires there, but that's from Ambassador and Oslo. So Spitfires, he's had a bloody nose. Least of his problems, he's in a mouse. Brocky taking a position on the ramp. Even though he's in an ice fall with seriously lacking under pressure, it's just enough for that ramp. NZ has been spotted by Pipu Devil. Or maybe Brocky. Pipu Jail and the Vickers just holding back here. Good shot in there by Brocky in the IS-4. At the moment, oh, Yennefer getting shot as well. Doesn't manage to get a shot into Pipu Devil. Pipu Devil did get a shot into Yennefer though. Oh, and he gets another shot in. So Yennefer is slowly being bled. And you can see that the hit points are favouring Serenity here, not favouring APA. Now, Alpha and Pipu Platt. Alpha are trying to put shots into the E5 of the Witcher and Sincere. Ambassador pushing forward, trying to put some pressure onto Brocky. Didn't pay off. Didn't pay off at all. Brocky putting a good roll back into him. Don't forget, Kimmich is there in the Kranwagen. Nicely hauled down as soon as Ambassador comes around. Oh, he bounces. The Witcher being very aggressive towards the B cap because Spitfires did cap it. Giving the advantage to Serenity here. So it's going down to a brawl. Alpha here, looking worse for wear. So Spitfires. Down goes Alpha. Ambassador will go down though. He's not going to last. There he goes. Spitfires also goes down. So two tanks down. Oslo in the mouse. Is he going to go down as well? Well, Pipu Platt is trying to get Yennefer out at this moment in time. But Oslo does go down, taken down by Brocky. Now it allows Pipu Platt to really bully Yennefer there. Pipu Devil is putting shots in from across the... Back over here, Brocky is going to go down. Down he goes. So, 3 tanks down for Serenity. They do have... No, they don't. They don't have the cap lead anymore. They did. Kimmich and the Witcher toying with each other here. Oh, it's not going according to Serenity's way. Down goes Pipu Devil. Pipu Jail coming in now to try and put a bit of pressure on NZ. But it's not looking good. He's in a Vickers after all. Get back over to the brawl. Pipu Platt goes down. And this one is going to go to APA. And it's all over. APA get it on the points. So, there we go. So, APA dishing out 16,424. Serenity, who you had to predict, 13,939. And as Matthew said, stop predicting. So we're going to change those spawn points here on Alpenstadt. This time we have APA on the south spawn, Serenity on the north spawn. Got over a minute to go, so we're just waiting for them to ready up. So we have Jennifer in a Kranwagen, NZ in a T22, Sinkia in an E5, Marsink in a Kranwagen, Oslo in a Mouse, The Witcher in an E5, Ambassador in an E5. Moving over to Serenity, we have Pipu Devil in an E5, Kimmich potentially in an E5, Pipu Jail in a Vickers, Pipu Platt in an E5 potentially, Spitfires in a Mouse, Brocky in the IS4 and Alpha in the E5. Pipu Jail, Air Kimmich does go into a crown, Pipu Jail is in a Vickers and Pipu Platt is in an E5, so that is the meta selection for the guys here on Alpenstadt. APA already got the lead, 1-0. Serenity will be looking to turn that around, however. Either way, off we go. So APA playing very, very comfortably at the moment, timing their pushes well, getting their focus fire nicely done, and they've been really doing particularly well, APA. I've been very impressed with their style of gameplay this evening, to be honest with you. And I mean, I do like Serenity, I like their way of playing. They really impressed me during the PYS tournament, and I had them down as tournament favourites after Endgame, but I thought that Serenity were going to give Endgame a run for their money, but APA have been really impressive, not going to lie. So APA looking for the A-cap strat here, and they are putting their tanks apart from Oslo there in the Mouse in potentially that area. Moving over, well, Serenity, they're at the moment not really looking at A strat. Probably have Pipu Jail there in the Vickers come out and go and take the C strat, the cap. Spitfires and Brocky, again, they are overlooking the B cap. So Pipu Jail is indeed heading way down to that C cap. Open to cap there and put a bit of pressure onto APA. With the rest of the team here just taking defensive positions, Alpha, Pipu Platt and Air Kimmich, waiting for anything to pop into that C cap, into that A cap, sorry. B cap, well, Oslo drops in, but Spitfires is there to reset him, and that's exactly what he's done. Yennefer, Ambassador and Erneds are trying to rotate back around through their spawn to try and put a bit of pressure on the C cap, but the cap has been taken, so the advantage is going to Serenity. Spitfires, he gets a bit of a smack from Oslo there. Or is it Ossiol? I don't know how you say it, to be fair. Sorry. So lots of rotations going around. The E5 is now moving out of their position as well. They have been spotted. How far may consider it a risk to try and drop into the A cap? B cap is being taken. You can see there the Mouse has jumped in from Osliol. Ossiol? Ossiol? I don't know. But the A cap is now being taken. So is the C cap by APA, but cap advantage should still sit with Serenity. Yennefer now pushing round in the Kranwagen, trying to look to get onto Pipu Jail, misses him completely as Pipu Jail backs down into the river area. Spitfire's putting good shots in. Oslo is going to try and come up behind those Spitfires. Spitfires could be outmaneuvered here by both Oslo and Ambassador Yennefer. Pipu Devil is trying to put shots in. B-cap is finally taken. That's a good move by APA. Great move by Yennefer and Ambassador, making Spitfires concentrate that way, allowing them to cap B, and at the same time allowing Oslo to put shots into the back. Spitfires will go down. There's no way he can survive. Down he goes. Marsink has gone down, however. Now Pipu Devil, well, he's going to be focused. He's going to tie up 2 tanks, maybe 3, with Ambassador. No, Ambassador's going the other way. He'll definitely tie up 2 tanks. So we need to just get over to this side of the map. As you can see, we've got Brocky toying with the Witcher. Sinkia getting smacked by Pipu Plat. And he's smacked again. This is pretty good stuff, but they've now lost Pipu Devil over there. He has tied up those 2 tanks for a good space of time. They've lost them Sinkia. Now they could be losing the Witcher as Air Kimmich comes around as well. Maybe able to put HE rolls into the back. That is a great shot in. Down he goes. So 3 tanks down. So the advantage is still with Serenity here. They have not only the hit points, they have the cap points at the moment. And they also have the guns on the battlefield. Ambassador is going to be the main focus because he is a 2-shot. Well, he's not a 1-shot, so like I said, he is the main focus. Kimmich is coming in to try and look to finish him off. Oh, but he gets shot as he comes through. Brocky may be able to finish him off. Brocky does. So it's 3 against 5. Kimmich coming in. He's going to avoid Oslo in the mouse. He's going for Yennefer. That's what Kimmich is focused on. As you can see, completely ignores the mouse. Pushes down onto Yennefer. Trying to get Yennefer out the game here. Serenity playing really well here. Not going to lie. However, they've now lost the advantage. Now they've gained it back again. Now it's Oslo and NZ left. The T22 and the mouse down, however. Here's the tank, but NZ is now a 1-shot. Oslo is very, very healthy, but the B-cap will now be taken. They're not going to bother with the A-cap. They're looking to try and take out NZ. Pipu Jail comes down. He gets smacked, though, and smacked again, and smacked a 3rd time. Yeah, that's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to come round the other way, round the back, and put the shots into the back of NZ. Kimmich is very healthy, though, and NZ does go down. Taken out by Brocky, who's had a great, great game. And Oslo is the last man standing, and it's all over. Serenity, bring it back. And there we go. All change. 15,200 and 18,289. We're now going to switch those maps, this time Halas. So here we go. And the last time, like. So here on Halas, all even Stevens at the moment. We have APA on the North Spawn, Serenity on the South Spawn. I forgot my webcam. Sorry. Hello. 2 maps down if you didn't tell me. So we have Yennefer in a Kranwagen, NZ in a Vickers, Sinkia in an E5, Marsink in a Kran, Oslo in a Kran, The Witcher in an E5, and Ambassador in a Kran. Moving over to Serenity, we have Pipu Devil in a Kran, Herr Kimmich in a Kran, Pipu Jail in a T22, Pipu Platt in an E5, Spitfires in an E5, Brocky in the IS4, and Days in a Kran. So, even Stevens, as I said, going into this game, but it was pretty much like that in the first round. It did go first game to APA, second game to Serenity, and then it was all APA after that. However, are Serenity going to change that? Are they going to turn it around? Are they going to say, no, that was then, this is now, we're in a different game? It's a different map, I must admit. So, excuse the yawn. Hit points, well, next to nothing in it. Serenity just taking a little bit of a comfort blanket. When I say a little bit, I mean it's more like a comfort napkin with that, 150 hit points. That's it. Let's get a pie into the back, as we do all the time. So we can see here that basically APA, apart from Yennefer, are heading to the middle area. NZ will get out there really quickly, try and get those spots into that bush right there. That's what he's looking for. He's trying to get into that bush, get those spots. And there he goes. Serenity, however, not playing the same game. They are going very wide in the E5s with Herr Kimmich leading in the Kranwagen. And the ACAP will be taken quickly. This will send maybe a incorrect fake news intelligence report to APA that the CCAP is not the focus of attention. So we've got Sinkia and the Witcher. Well, they're not that daft. These guys have been doing it far too long. So they're not rushing into the CCAP. Why would they? Because they know that there are guns trained on it. And that's what the guns are there for. NZ is trying to go back to his little bush, or near to it, and get that spot. He's been spotted by Spitfires. He now knows that there are tanks there. He's going to relate that to the rest of the team. They will now know that there are tanks there. Also, Yennefer takes the B cap, but at the moment Serenity do have the advantage. Just going to move around a little bit to see if Pipu Gel is going to push. I don't think he will. He's not that silly. He's just going to try and reset every time there. Moving around the map, trying to look at the positioning here of Serenity. Well, they're all in pretty much defensive type positions with control of the map. Spitfire's pushing in towards C and pushing on to C, but he is getting smacked. That is a reset. Coming across and another reset. It's that's the reason why APA didn't push into that cap, for the same reason that Spitfire's just discovered. Basically, there's guns trained on it. So, but Serenity have got a decent advantage here. They don't need to make any silly moves like that, to be honest with you. They don't need to. They need to just know that APA are going to be pushing onto the cap, and here they go. Oslo, Marsink and Ambassador pushing towards the C cap. They just need to train their gun Serenity on that area, make sure they can reset it. And at the moment, well, there we go. There's the first reset. Ambassador rotating out. He doesn't want to be too far forward because he knows it is painful. And APA stuck in their tanks down on the left here of the C cap. Now they put two Crown Wagons in there. Pipu Devil is looking to try and get round, but he does have Yennefer there in the Crown Wagon. That will give him a hard time. But Daze is coming in to help out. C cap has now been taken by APA. That will give him a little bit of comfort. Not much, to be fair, because they are bleeding. Now the E5s are pushing down, and Oslo in the Crown Wagon behind them, onto Pipu Plat, and onto Pipu Devil at the same time. Sinkia is tailed off actually to go towards Pipu Devil here, and Sinkia avoiding Pipu Devil, and Yennefer getting smacked. Yennefer could go down here, down he goes. At the same time, Pipu Plat is toying with lots of tanks here, but now firmly in control of Serenity. Pipu Plat will go down, Oslo will take him, leave that. Down, however, goes Mars Sink. Two tanks down for APA. This is now clearly in the favour of Serenity. They have got not only the hit points, but the guns and the base points. Pipu Devil will not last, but he is being protected by Daze. Really good stuff by Daze. Spitfires are being whittled down though, but so is Ambassador. The Witcher takes him down, but Ambassador goes down at the same time. Rocky and Daze here, they're looking to take out Oslo. Kimmich, I can't believe People Platoon survived that. Brilliant. Daze and Pipu Plat, how did they manage to survive so long with that fire being directed at them? Now the Witcher is in a really bad way. It's 3 against 4. Serenity have the advantage. They have got the cap points. They have got the hit points. They have got the guns on the battlefield. The Witcher's going to go down here. There he goes, leaving the Sinkia to be the focus of attention. We're not even bothered with NZ. He's over there tussling with whoever he was tussling with. But it all goes round, and Serenity get it. So Serenity dishing out 17,165. There you go. Ooh. So Serenity 2-1 against APA now. Changing those spawn points here on Halas. This time we have APA on the south spawn, Serenity on the north spawn. So we have Yennefer in a VK90, NZ in a Kranwagen, Sinkir in an E5, Marsink in a Kranwagen, Osseo in a Kranwagen, The Witcher in a Kranwagen, and Ambassador in an IS4. Moving over to Serenity, we have People Devil in a Kranwagen, Herkimmich in a Kranwagen, People Jail in a Vickers, People Platt in an E5, Spitfires in an E5, Brocky in the IS4, and Days in an E5. Serenity, match point. Can APH stop that, turn it around? Well, we will find out very, very shortly. We'll find out in 20 odd seconds. As Every said in the earlier, they're just jostling for seeding now. I mean, both these teams are through to tomorrow. It's not a big deal for them. Neither of them are going home. They're both into the next stage of the final group. So I mean, they're not going to give too much away at this stage. Wow, hit points there favouring APA. So, can they make use of it? Quite significantly as well. I mean, that is basically an additional tank. It's basically putting 2 Vickers out there, hit point wise. So APA are heading for the A cap, not looking for the C cap this time. And Serenity, well, they're going to be overlooking the B cap. Oslo really pushing forward here. He's going to go down into the dip. There he goes. But Serenity have got those areas covered. A cap will be taken. At the same time, E5s of Pipu Platin Spitfires pushing around the back while the Vickers of Pipu Jail will take the C cap. So quite a bold move by the 2 E5s here of Serenity. And Marsink realises that there's a bit of danger. So he's trying to back away. Brocky is not tempted to jump into the B cap because of that Kranwagen of Oslo there, and along with Yennefer and Ambassador just at the back. Now he's thinking, well, maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. He's right on the edge. Potentially haul down enough. No, he's not, because Oslo is going to come up and he's not going to be able to pen him from there. Days, well, Spitfires and Days have moved out of their positions. Kimmich has had a bit of a smacking, but nothing. Pipu Platt has come out of his position as well, where he was a minute ago, and he's come back round towards the B cap. Brocky is trying to tempt Oslo out. Trying to tempt, I say. Oslo is not stupid. I mean, if this was a bubbly game, then, you know, whoever was in that, you know, if Oslo was not in the Kranwagen, it was somebody else, then, oof, they would have been out like a shot and wrecked. But Oslo is no fool. He's not going to be tempted out. At the moment, B cap is now going to be taken. No, it's not. Brocky is just toying with them. He puts an HE roll into Oslo there. And all he's doing is basically trolling Oslo here in the Kranwagen, hoping that he can tempt him out. Over this side, well, we've got Sink here, NZ, Marsink, and The Witcher all making a move. Spitfires is backing away. Days is also backing away. Pipu Platt, well, they're looking for the C cap here. Sink here is looking to try and get the C cap. If he does... Oh, Pipu Devil, what a bold move this was. Looking to isolate Oslo. And they have, with spectacular style. Pipu Devil, what a move that was. Completely unexpected. So, tank down. They're going to lose. They're going to get the B cap, but they're going to lose a cap. They've lost C, but they've got the advantage marginally at the moment. But they've also got the hit points just about. I mean, don't forget there was 1,000 or 1,500 almost earlier between the two. So, Days, Spitfires. I mean, Days' ability. Oh! NZ goes down. That was a big kill. Spitfires. Pipu Platt comes into. Oh, but he tries to shield, but it doesn't work. He goes down. Brocky is worse for wear now. Marsink is being harassed. Yennefer's coming in. But Marsink, oh, down goes Brocky. That was not expected. But Marsink will go now. P2 Platt or even Air Kimmich will take him down here. No, it will be P2 Platt. No, P2 Platt bounces. He rams him instead. It's 4 against 2. This is going to Serenity. They did get their revenge after all. Sinkir is going to be pushed first, ramming Yennefer. Yennefer's in a big super heavy. So Sinkir, bless him. He's trying to put shots into Air Kimmich and he's done so successfully, but he's now got 2 E5s pressing down on him. Oof. Off. Ram wherever you may go. Daze will put an HE roll into the backside now. Take him out. There we go. Yennefer, last one standing. He may be able to get the kill of Pipu Jail, but Air Kimmich is giving him a hard time. He doesn't get Air Kimmich. Now he's on his long reload. He knows it's all over. Pipu Jail kills himself. Well done. Bit of Harry Carry going on. What a spectacular game. And the reverse of what we saw in round 1. Go figure. So in round 1, it was APA beating Serenity 3-1. This time it was Serenity beating APA 3-1. Great stuff. Wowzers. Absolutely wowzers. Wowzers indeed. So, let's see if we can speak to Mr. Every. I've got to change the battery first on my headset before we do get to speak to him. Unfortunately, no. Oh, let me just sort this out before we do anything. We're going to do admin. Hang on, let me do admin. Anyway, yeah, so I just had to cite that. Now I need to jump in and see if everybody's chatting to get the rundown. And what's been going on? Let me just take my ugly mug off. You don't need to see me doing all my admin. How boring it must be for you. Let me just drop the noise as well. The life of a streamer. Ta-da. Let's see where everybody is.
Hey, Fusion.
Now, talk about, you know, a reverse of round 1. Totally different type of games. Yes.
What do I do? Everyone voted for APA winning. No one said Serenity would win. What do I do with my last 3 battle passes?
Well, you've still got streams to do.
That is true. But still,
So
what do
just
I
roll
do?
them out.
Do I
Just
just
roll
keep
them-
them for tomorrow or what?
Yeah, roll them over. That's what I've had to do on Asia. Because
we'll do that then.
I mean, because nobody predicted. I had 10 to give away. I only gave away 4 in the Asia stream today. Which means I had 6. I've got to roll over 6, but I don't see any harm in rolling them over, to be honest.
All right. Well, I've tried to give out 3 for each match. Been able to give out 6, so that's fine.
Well, I've changed it to do because On Asia, I tried to do predict the winner, and it didn't work because nobody was predicting it. So, funnily enough, so I went back to predicting the damage. So, so I give out
that might be a good idea as well.
Yeah, it's just easier because I do basically 4 predict the damage games, give 2 battle passes per game. That way.
You mean the tournament matches, right? Not replays.
Yeah. Tournament matches.
Yeah,
so for example, so for example, the second game, first out today, I said predict the damage of APA, and then the 2 closest get a battle pass, and then miss the third game. Then in the 4th game, predict the damage dished out by Serenity, and then another 2. So that's 4 gone, and then in the next game there's another 4 in the last game. So.
All right. Then I'll just keep them and use them tomorrow, and maybe even steal your idea because that seems a lot easier because they don't necessarily have to win, and there will be a closest.
Hello.
Hello.
You're on chat stream now as well.
I always
mine
find,
is also still going, so it's fine.
Yeah, I always find that predicting damage is much easier than predicting the winner because, like I said, I on Asia earlier, nobody predicted the winner.
Yeah, I
Feel
tried
by
to
the
give
one-
them. I had
Sorry.
it happen to me right now. No one predicted Serenity to win, so I have some battle passes left.
I did. No.
Yeah.
By the way, Veil won 3-2 from Quick.
See?
Ooh,
Thomas
interesting.
Peterson
Great
has
job.
been jinxing loads of people tonight. Jack keeps saying it's the bot and not him, but we all know the truth.
We do know the truth,
So-
yes.
So Vale got their revenge as well, and Raid did as well. 3-2.
Yeah.
Yep. What about Loker and BPS?
So everyone but BPS got their revenge.
So I have
Yes.
to ask, what happened with Alpan Serenity? Is Alpan worked out a way to deal with clans like Serenity and EG? My guess is that they would be hyper aggressive, but what did they actually do?
They were
very-
hyper aggressive. They were aggressive in the first
But
round.
it was not just mindless pushing either. It was very smart the way
Yeah.
they played it.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was. But Serenity also seemed a bit out of sorts, to be fair. And Every and I were talking about it, and I said they looked a bit cold. So that's not taking anything away from APA. APA played a charm. They outplayed them basically. But it wasn't the Serenity that we've seen. And then when they went out against Reti, it was a completely different Serenity. Completely different.
Oh yeah.
So basically, they refound their form, so to speak.
Yep.
And
And
during
then-
the rematch,
It was
Pretty close call in a lot of these games, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't like a resounding whitewash by. Even though it was 3-1, it wasn't a resounding whitewash by Serenity. But better positioning, better focus fire again than what we saw in the first round.
that's
They-
it. So they're basically adapting.
Well,
So
it's like the
Texas
Emperor.
kept on standing with low HPs, which just
Yeah.
didn't happen.
And again, whilst you're here though, I mean, did you see Pipu Platt in that corner on the first game on Halas? He's pushed by like 3 tanks, and he survived. He survived. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he did.
Unbelievable. he went down eventually, but we were saying this.
About
Days.
earlier.
Days does it a lot. He manages to survive in an E5 when he shouldn't. And now Pipu Platt did it. And it's the way they're maneuvering their tanks is beautiful to watch. Really is.
Yeah. But ignoring our game, how did yours go with Loka? They've been very dominant just looking at the result screens.
It was very close in a bunch of matches, though. The second to last, like the match before the very last one, Loka won that because Casio couldn't hide enough behind a rock. That's the only reason they made that kill. And the very last match, Loka won it because their E5 won versus the T22. And like nothing against them, but he dropped the reactive armor, so the T22 just could do less damage per shot. And it was like these very small bits of the battle that made that last bit of difference that they needed to win.
So it wasn't as a whitewash as the result makes it
Absolutely not, no.
No. No. Except, the first game Loka was more dominant, and BPS was not focusing, was not very concentrated, where they gave a lot of chances for Loka to isolate the
Yeah.
tanks. But the grand final BPS, it looks a lot more focused and a lot more determined, and the games are very, very close. It could have gone either way for actually all the games, I would say.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they've done really well.
Have to point out one thing though, that BPS won versus A1 N1, not so much because they played better, but because A1 N1 was having massive lag issues. And they basically capitalized on that, and it made sense. Of course they did that, and I'm not saying they won unjustified, but it's sort of like it kind of
It helped.
feels like that is not how you want to win, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You want to win because you're better, you outplayed them, not because one tank drives straight out into the open into the trains on with the flank showing to your enemies.
No.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, Reti played well. I think they can definitely take a lot out of this, but they just... I think we've talked about this with Fujit before. They're lacking just that experience and probably playing under pressure, partially. Because they didn't do a lot of things wrong. They just got massively outplayed by Serenity in the end. But they played well.
Yeah, we saw moments of their brilliance in the third game on Winter Malinovka.
Oh, the third game, it was so beautiful. Because
Yeah, it was.
basically, what can I talk about that, Fujit?
Of course.
The game was beautiful because it was Winter Mali, and Reti was playing double Vickers actually, which you don't see too often to begin with, and especially in the meta that we have right now. But they sent them both to the A side, which is expected, but they let them sit behind the ridgeline and not actually go up. While Serenity had the Devil in their Vickers goal, and he spotted normally. He didn't see anyone. In fact, no one was spotted for quite some time, so he just went and capped A, which was fine. But once he finished that, that is when Reti strike. They pushed in their Vickers and an E5 together, killed out Devil, and then it just absolutely was a farm fest, because Serenity was out of position, their focus fire was all over the place, and even though they ammo-wrecked someone from Reti, they just couldn't stabilize. Because of shielding, blocking by players. That was probably peak Reti gameplay, but they couldn't replicate it.
No.
All right.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I can't wait to stream the games tomorrow as well, and I mean every year.
Yeah.
It's going to be some very exciting matches to watch, and now top 4, APA, Serenity, Loka, and BPS. I don't know, it's going to be a tight call in whichever will win this one now, because I think you can make a case for any clan here, especially when Endgame's not here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think Endgame out of the picture definitely gives a lot of breathing room to these teams, but it also makes it a lot more intense. Because their skill level is not all that different. It all will come down to who reacts better, who has better strats, and maybe even a bit of player experience, but I don't think it will be too significant.
I think it can also be how well a team is glued together. One of the things that I noticed in the last couple of matches on Hellas with Loka versus BPS is that Loka is just playing more patiently, and the sort of impatience that BPS has kind of feels like what you get with a newly formed team. And of course they were made like not long before this whole bit started, so to speak. So I think that that's also going to play a part tomorrow and the days after.
Very true. On my stream, you're seeing the winners of the Battle Pass giveaway. So congratulations to all of them. I had to double check with one of the username though, because I had you as a winner yesterday, but your name does not show up in the, from my from Blitzstar. So I had to double check whether it's right. So bear with me on that. But sorry for the digression.
That's fine. But I'm just gonna then round it up as saying we all saw fantastic games tonight.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
did.
Agree.
And I'm definitely going to round it up because we've got NA again in like
Oh,
4.5
God,
hours.
Oh yeah.
And Eurovision.
One thing we need to probably remind people of though is the change made for EU tomorrow for the streams, because we will have me and Jack co-commentating, but Aminet and Fujit will go down to the challenges
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. I think you and Jack and me and Fujit will have to solo commentate the first match because, as per usual, there's 2 matches happening at once. The first
Yeah.
round.
How is that?
How do we do that actually? Because I think Jack, we
The-
talked about this, but we couldn't figure it out, or we just forgot.
I think I did it with Eminet. Is that we both just do it separately, and we keep our streams alive, but but everything is streamed at the same time, like the same thing, but stream on 2 different channels in the second game. We can do that tomorrow.
And we just join
Yeah.
up on voice whenever we're ready after the first matchup.
Yes.
And then
So-
the other one joins when they're ready, and you go together from there.
Right, so we need
Seems like
separate
we can maybe.
streams. So we need to tell.
Let's serious now.
Oh, Nick Gurr and 007 James over in
Yeah.
surprise, and Nick Gurr
So many
all
talk
putting
about-
putting
I
shots
would
into
love
him.
for the next season
Nick
to have a
Gurr's
different
losing hit
format
points.
that will not have this happen, because we want to stream as much as possible, but at the same time, it's when you have to die hard stream as much as we do these days. It's very nice to be able to co-commentate.
Rapidly as well, but Nick Gurr is
It also
one
depends
shot is
from
looking worse for wear, so
people
is
to,
Nick Gurr.
people,
But
person
Nick
to
Gurr
person
goes
as
down
well,
and
yeah.
it's all over. Mouse.
I mean,
Nick
it all
Gurr
depends on
0
how you
Gurrs,
feel
Nick
it,
Gurr and
so
Bifrost.
I
Nick
think
Gurr.
both solo
Now he's gonna go
commentary and co-commentary, they have their own merits, and
Yeah,
it really also
they do.
depends on how you feel at that moment as well.
But yeah, so that's just a reminder. We'll have double ups and you 2 down at challenges, so we can finally have some appreciation for the EUs too. Have
Yes.
those be seen, because all of the challenges have now been streamed because we had one on Russia as well, and I mean that you had Asia and me and Jack did NA already, so EU finally some focus as well. That's nice to see. But yeah, that's the plan, so that everyone is aware. Do we have anything else to discuss?
No, that's it for me. I wish
That's
you all a very good night, and I will see everyone tonight for the NA streams.
And I will dash off for I mean what we're going to watch next.
Oh yeah, Jack, you're gonna be
Yes,
on.
exactly.
You're gonna be on my stream, won't you, Jack?
Yes, but that's much later. But we have more important
for
things
an
to
A.
do right
It
after.
means
Yes.
Eurovision Song Contest.
Yes.
I will ask about that later. But regardless of that,
Thank you guys for the talk.
Thank you.
And
Thank
we'll
you
see
too.
each other soon then.
See you too.
Absolutely.
Bye.
See you all later, guys.
See you.
Cheerio.
Night.
Bye. Good night. Bye.
So, after this replay, that'll be it, guys. That's the end of the stream. I'm back again later on NA, so I'm going to have to go and get some well-deserved sleep. So, I will see you soon. Bye for now.